19 Rory, 21 Rory Booten, 22 Ben Close, and 33 is Nick.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to Hive Live's coverage of Barnet against Eastleigh. And before we launch into our usual spiel, I'd like to play you something that I saw earlier from a very special man.
23 Dry Semenyo, and 30 is Conor.
Good morning all you Barnet supporters. 5:30 kick-off this afternoon. Edgy few games. Nervy times. But it's always like this when you're at the top and people are trying to knock you off the perch. It's always. Liverpool right now in the Premier League have been the same for the past few weeks. It's just normal. How you come through it and get over it. Positive attitude. Lead from the front. Shoulders back. Chins up. Sing your hearts out from the start to finish. Back those players, back that manager, and you're going to be champions. And the calmness from behind, whoosh, whoosh. You'll win again. You'll win today. You will win. It's a long day for those players to wait for a 5:30 kickoff, which is not ideal. I know that. But my God, when you get there today and you've paid your money for that ticket, you better support those players. And this is one thing I remember that I loved. And as I was driving down here this morning, when all the ground at Underhill used to sing, "Come on, Barnet, come on, Barnet, come on, Barnet." It's got to be non-stop singing. It's non-stop. Oh my God, my dog's going in the river. No, Dennis. Have a great day. Enjoy it if you can. If you can, enjoy it. You'll soon be over the finishing line with that Champions medal again. Good luck.
Well, how about that for a message, Brian?
Oh, it's quality. Martin Allen, one of the most loved faces at the club, giving that rallying call. And I think it's really important because the last couple of weeks, Barnet fans may have felt down, may have felt deflated, given that York have now narrowed this lead down to just 3 points. But from someone who's done it all before, someone who's beloved at Barnet, that just gives an extra bit of energy and motivation. I'm sure Dean Brennan has shown that to his players just to encourage them a little bit more and tell them that they're so close to achieving something special. So I think brilliant rallying cry from Martin Allen. Hopefully the players can repeat everything he said and go ahead, full steam.
Yeah, they certainly will. So anyway, you're listening to Hive Live with myself, Rory Edwards, alongside co-commentator Brian Matovu. We'll be bringing you coverage of Barnet against Eastleigh, which is set to kick off in just about 12 minutes. 12 minutes, Brian.
Yeah, 12 minutes time. Looking forward to this. Big crowd, of course, in front of the DAZN cameras. So this is what it's all about for the Bees. These late games, you know what you've got to do. Nothing changes. 3 points, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. But things are going to be a little bit more tricky than they would have been before because Gateshead 1, York City 3.
Yeah, I mean, York City, got to give credit to them. They haven't given up. They're just putting as much pressure as they can on the Bees, and they probably would have enjoyed having the early kick-off, knowing that it's all in their hands, and they've got the pressure on Barnet now. It's still a 3-point gap, of course. Barnet is still in their hands. However, it's going to be difficult for the Bees, knowing that, you know, York are just right behind them. But like I said, it's still in their hands. They've still got everything to play for, and that won't faze the Bees. Barnet know that York are right behind them, but it doesn't change. You win your games, you win the league, and that's the mentality they've got to have.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now, I actually watched this game. I watched Gateshead against York. And let me tell you this, Gateshead absolutely dominated proceedings.
Yeah.
Really. York had very few chances. It was a game on a really poor pitch. And Gateshead scored first. They got the first goal. And they had a massive counter-attacking opportunity. They didn't take it. And York, showing their quality, showing why they are where they are, just stayed in the game and took the one chance that they had to equalise. Half-time 1-1. Second half, again, Gateshead edged it, I feel. And York then punished them again from two defensive errors, and the game finished 3-1. And all of a sudden, some Bees fans are a little bit nervous now.
Yeah, I mean, York, they're just that inevitable side. Like, how many times have we seen it this season? Last 15 or 20 minutes minutes or so, York City will get the goals that just they need to have. And at this moment in time, it's not about performance. York may have not played well today, but it's all about the end result, because what good would have done if York had played well and lost the game 3-1? Would have done nothing. All they got to do is win the games. Of course, you've got to take opportunities when they come. They took them and they punished Gateshead, and fair to Gateshead, they're on a bit of a slump at the moment, but for York, they won't care. They have all eyes on this game, knowing that if Barnet slip up, it's another opportunity for them to get closer and closer.
Yeah, it certainly is. So anyway, last time out then, it was a draw against Wealdstone, 1-1, 50-50 game, but Dean Brennan was pretty sanguine about the result. He actually said at the end, he was pretty positive. He said, this is exciting, this is what we want to be involved in. He was very upbeat about the whole thing, actually, and he didn't think it was all that bad a performance.
Yeah, I mean, he came off very positive as well. We were a bit surprised, because when Dean Brennan, you don't win, he's always got the highest of standards, but he seemed pretty positive about the performance. Of course, it was a 1-1 draw, and I think he realised that when you play your games against Wealdstone, it's a derby game, it's a rival match, it's always going to be really difficult, because they're 50-50 games. The proverbial saying, form goes out the window in these derby games, and I think he understood that, and he was just happy with the performance, especially when the equaliser came from Wealdstone. But unfortunately for the Bees, they couldn't get the win. But like you said, Dean Brennan, he's all about winning, and I think he just reflected on the journey that Bees have been on since he's come in. And when he joined, they were in a relegation battle, but he's now realised that he's taken the club on such an amazing journey from the bottom of the league to the playoffs, and now really fighting at the top of the league title, and they're so close. So I think he looked back on it thinking, listen, this is what it takes. You're gonna go through your ups, you're gonna go through your downs, and he loves the pressure, because you'd rather be in this position than just be floating about mid-table and just petering out the season.
Absolutely right. And but of course, just touching on that game a little bit then, the Bees had more than enough chances to actually win the game, didn't they? I mean, Reece Brown had a couple of huge opportunities, just didn't really take them.
Yeah, Reece Brown, I mean, he would be disappointed, particularly with that second chance he had just after the equaliser. He rolls his man. It is a tight, narrow angle, but he just goes for the near post smash. Unfortunately, he hits the side netting, but I think Barnet did have chances. But however, we also had chances as well. I remember Cisse going in 1v1, and it was a great save from Owen Evans to keep him out. So I think a draw on reflection is a bit of a fair result. Bees had chances, but in this game, they've got to take their chances. And Dean Brennan mentioned, when you're 1-0 up, you've got to make it 2-0 to have a bit of a cushion. And when the game's still 1-0, it's always going to be in the balance. And unfortunately for the Bees, it ended 1-1.
Well, it did indeed. But derby game, 50-50, as Dean Brennan said. So put that one to bed and just make sure you get the win today against an Eastleigh side who don't really, let's face it, have very much to play for.
Yeah, very little to play for, it seems. And they look at the table just after the 3-o'clock kickoff, there's still only 7 points on the relegation zone. I mean, there is only 4 games left for them, so if they were to win today, they'd more or less be safe. But, they lose today, Eastleigh, and they lose again next week. There could be potentially 4 points with 2 games to go, and they've still got to play York City on the final day of the year, so they're not out of it yet, but really and truly they're most likely going to stay up, and like you said, nothing really to play for. But when you're in front of the TV cameras, why not put in a performance if you can do?
Well, absolutely. But the thing is, Eastleigh are in pretty rotten form, aren't they? I mean, rotten is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah, absolutely.
They haven't picked a win, so they had 7 games a winless run. Terrible away form. They've only got 1 point from their last 5. They've scored 3, conceded 12.
Yeah.
Worse than Ebbsfleet, who also picked up 1 point from the last 5, but they've scored 5 more goals.
Wow, so just going to show they're in, like you said, rotten form. I look back and I think Eastleigh's last win was actually against Ebbsfleet, and that was in March. So, like I said, in rotten form, it's just pushed them further down the table. But, they've got guys in Sade, Paul McCallum. They can find it, they just haven't found it recently. So it won't be an easy game. Dean Brennan said the hard side to break down, which they are. They're just a mid-table standard side in this league. So it won't be an easy game as of March, but if you're the better side in Barnet, which they are, they should win this game.
Yeah, well, Eastleigh's season, the story of Eastleigh's season really has been mediocrity. They were as high as 8th at the end of February, but that rotten patch of form has really, it's not put them in good stead, particularly. But as you said, they're not in danger of relegation. They haven't got much to play for, but sometimes that can actually work against the team who needs the result, because when you play without pressure, anything can happen, But this is the thing, they lost 4-0 against Rochdale in their last game. If you score first against this Eastleigh side, you'd fancy them to win, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. They just capitulate. But what's also interesting as well is that in that midst of a 7-game run, they were 3-0 up at Wealdstone, and they managed to draw 3-3 in that game. So, like you said, they're not a great side, Eastleigh. If you score first, you'd anticipate Barnet would get 2, 3s and 4s. But like you said, when you're playing with no pressure, you play with that freedom. And Barnet, they are playing with pressure. They have to win the game if they want to push further clear of York City, and the longer it stays 0-0, if it's just 1-0, then it might be a bit nervous around the Hive, but I just fully expect Barnet to win this game. It's a home game, haven't won in the last 2 games, and what a way to just put that to bed.
Well, indeed it is. Paul McCallum is back in the squad today for Eastleigh. He's the singular change to the lineup, and he is no stranger to Barnet fans. He was brought in on loan in Darren Curry's season when the Bees managed to get into the playoffs on points per game during the COVID season, and played an integral part in that. I believe he scored actually in the away game against the Oval, behind closed doors that was. You just wonder whether there is something written there for Paul McCallum to score on his return to the Hive. His recent goal scoring form has been pretty poor. And he won the Golden Boot last season, beating out Nicky Kabamba. But it would be just Barnet's luck for Paul McCallum to come back on the day that they need a win, and McCallum gets a goal.
Absolutely. I mean, it happened 2 weeks ago at Braintree. John Akinde scoring the winner from the penalty spot in the last minute. And Paul McCallum, like I said, has been in poor goal scoring form this year, but like I said, last year 31 goals in 38 games. I mean, how good that is. So he has got a knack for goals. Also, Tyrese Sade scored in a reverse fixture, which ended 1-1. He's a very decent player. And also, Eastleigh are unbeaten against Barnet so far this season, are unbeaten against York as well. They drew with York earlier in the season 0-0, so they do have the opportunity to cause an upset today, but like you said, Barnet have everything to play for. Everything is not in their favour as much, but they're at home, they're unbeaten here, so you'd like to think at least Barnet will pick up a point, but 3 points is what's needed.
Yeah, I think it would be a bit of an overstatement to say that it's an absolute must-win for Barnet. But it's relatively close because momentum is an important thing. They are winless in the last 2, having been on a ridiculously brilliant run before that. I think it's just time to get back to winning ways, and the management staff and the players seem to be pretty relaxed.
Absolutely. Like I said, I agree it's not a must win, but it's as close as you can, because if you don't win this game, you go into Sutton United knowing that is a must-win game, because if you don't win that game, York could narrow the gap to potentially 1 point with 2 games remaining, and that would be inconceivable, because it's just 3 weeks ago Barnet had an 11-point lead. It all seemed that it was inevitable, and you don't want York to get that sort of momentum, to get that belief, because it does affect the players.
Yeah, it certainly does. Quick few comments then. Piano just scored in. It's 2:25 a.m. here in Sydney. Hoping the Bees do put this one to bed nice and easily so I can go back to mine. And Mr. Goat says 3-0 Brunt first goal. So thank you to those guys, regulars. Amy Edwards, of course, and Zach Littleshard. Thank you for tuning into Hive Live as well. You know who you are. And out come the players lining up here in front of the television cameras on DAZN. If you are choosing Hive Live's coverage, a very warm welcome to you. Whether you are watching as well on DAZN and you've synced us up, or whether you just want good old-fashioned radio coverage, we're here for you. This is Hive Live with Rory Edwards and Brian Matovu alongside me to provide co-coms. I hope you're not going to be like Rio Ferdinand was the other day against in the Europa League.
Yeah, yesterday. I mean, Rio Ferdinand, to be fair to him, we love that sort of passion. He is a United fan, played for them for over 15 years. So if Barnet were to pull off a comeback like that, we couldn't contain ourselves, could we, Rory? Look at the Sutton United game and the Dagenham game.
Certainly couldn't. And from the press box here, we get a good view this time of the West Stand, which is looking pretty full for a 5:30 kickoff. I would say under the lights, but it is still pretty light out.
It is pretty
even though the lights are actually out. So let's take you through the lineups then. Barnet, Owen Evans in goal. Let's quickly. This always happens, technical issues. Here we go. Let's try that one again. Owen Evans in goal. Idris Kanu, thankfully, comes back into the lineup after his injury, timeout with injury. Nick Tavares is back as well, starting after Miles Kenlock was forced. We saw him on with a crutch. So hopefully,
a knee brace as well.
Wishing him a very, very speedy recovery, Miles Kenlock. Adi Aluwo and Danny Collins also making up that back line alongside Ryan Glover, who had to go off last time out, we believe with cramp, so he's fine. Hartigan and Shelton make up that double pivot role. Callum Stead and Zach Brunt. Zach Brunt came on as a sub last time out against Wealdstone, but he's actually chosen to start on this occasion. And it looks like Reece Brown is going to be up front, and Love drops to the bench. Grimwood, Coker, Chapman, Telford and Clifford make up the rest of that bench, alongside, of course, Belagambi, the substitute goalkeeper. And as I mentioned, Eastleigh have only made one change to the team that faced Rochdale and lost 4-0. And that is Paul McCallum, who comes in up front for Chris Maguire, who drops to the bench, the 36-year-old veteran Scottish centre forward, as we're about to kick off with Callum Stead and Mark Shelton over the ball. So here we go. Can the Bees get the job done here with minimal fuss against a side with very little to play for in the Spitfires? Reece Brown takes the ball forward and Glover carries it now. Here's Hartigan just on the halfway line over to Nick Tavares on the right hand side. We're right in amongst the fans today, so might get a bit of
yeah, we love it here.
Bit of noise
right in the midst of it all.
Picked up through the mic. Chris Linnell is listening in from Toronto. Come on, you Bees. Nick Keys, Telstar and Barnet Brothers. And Steph says, nice touch from Martin Allen with his video today.
Yeah, really.
I trust you saw us play it at the beginning of today's coverage. Owen Evans goes long down the right-hand side towards Idris Kanu, who is, of course, back in the squad today. But he can only run it out of play. And it's a throw into Eastleigh in their own half on the far side.
Good to see Idris Kanu back, like you said. His dynamism down that right-hand side. And he was in real good form before he got injured. I mean, he was taking guys on, putting in really good delivery. So hopefully we'll see more of that today. Any predictions we're going to go for?
Oh, you are more than welcome to make a prediction, Brian.
I'm going to go for 3-1. I think Bees get back to winning ways. 3 goals. Unfortunately, 1 goes in, but happy days. Yourself?
My gut is a narrow victory for the Bees, and I'm going to say 2-1. 2-1. And I think Paul McCallum might get on the score sheet. This is not me hoping that it's going to happen. Anyway, here come Eastleigh down the far side, and there's an infringement according to referee Ross Martin, and it's a free kick to the Bees in their own half, which Aluwo will roll to Tavares to take, who gets it back. And here's Aluwo. We can see the Amber Battalion bouncing in the distance.
Yeah.
Trying to drum up the noise. Here's Collins on this near side. Plays it across to Adi Aluwo at the back. Aluwo over to the right-hand side with Idris Kanu taking on Bootin. Eastleigh play a long ball up to, I believe, Tyrese Shade, but it's far too long and it comes back to Owen Evans. The view here is very different, isn't it?
Yeah,
isn't it, Brian?
It's very different. It's quite interesting to see from this point of view, because we can hear the instructions from Dean Brennan as we're so close to him. But yeah, not the best view that we've had ever, but it's just a good view. You get to hear the instructions. That's really, really important. But we can see the pitch. We'll know who scores all the goals.
Richard Rolfe is stuck in Stevenage listening to us. Let's upset BBC York, who were doing a lot of crowing. Let's have 3 points, please. Yes, well, Hive Live versus BBC Radio York. I think there's no competition there. Long throw in by Glover down this near side. Bit of head tennis. Glover heads it down. And here's Anthony Hartigan. Glover just tries to lump it up the left channel, but gets that one wrong, and it spins out of play for an Eastleigh throw in their own half, just on this near side. Yeah, we are absolutely right up close and personal with the management staff of both sides.
Yeah.
Right in front of us is Kelvin Davis, the Eastleigh manager. He was fairly downbeat in his pre-match interview. Yeah. He certainly wasn't. His interview didn't necessarily fill me with confidence, but I suppose when you lose 4-0, you have to be realistic. Glover slices his clearance. McCallum was chasing it down and gets hooked clear to Brunt. Still Brunt on this near side. Plays one with his left down the near channel. But it's going to run all the way for keeper Joe McDonnell, who takes no chances and lumps it out of play. So just to take you through the Eastleigh lineup very quickly then: Joe McDonald in goal, Luis Fernandez, Ludwig Francillet, Jake Taylor, the captain, Paul McCallum, of course, Tyree Shade, Lee Hodson, Corey Panther, Noah Boutin, Ben Close, and Nathan Shikuna, who they signed from Tamworth with his first professional contract. He got sent off on his debut up at Oldham.
What a way to enter the professional game.
Certainly was. He's got 8 goals this season though, Nathan Shikuna, so one to look out for. Here's Glover near the corner flag for the Bees. And he's conceded a throw there. Marcel OST is predicting a 3-0 Bees win from Belfast. Thanks for tuning in, Marcel. Recognise quite a few of these names, so thanks for tuning in.
Consistent listeners.
Yeah, and I can imagine, I've got good numbers today, so I can imagine there are a few curious York City fans. If you are a York City fan, we'd love to hear from you as well, what you think about the title race and whether you believe that there's still a chance that you could pit Barnet to the post and are hoping for a slip-up today. Here's Danny Collinge for the Bees, just driving past the halfway line. I can hear Dean Brennan saying higher, higher, and the ball goes straight to Joe McDonald, bit of a waste. Joe McDonald has the ball in his hands for the Spitfires, who have taken a small travelling contingent that are shoved over to the side of the away stand there, off to our right.
Yeah, fair play to them. Good Friday, not the easiest time to travel.
And on TV, of course, as well. The header
TV as well
for Eastleigh almost finds shade, but it goes back to Evans from Aluwo. But actually, he's let that run out of play. Whether that was a poor ball from Aluwo or poor play from Evans, it's difficult to tell. But it's a really cheap corner there given away by Barnet, and it's a chance for Eastleigh to get their big men in the box. Francillet, he's a big man. Fernandez, Paul McCallum is lethal in the air, so a cheap corner given away by Barnet on this near side.
Yeah, very tall side, and we saw from the coaching staff, as soon as the ball went back to Owen Evans, they said press him, and I guess it paid off because now they've got a corner out of nothing really. And
yeah, and it's going to be Ben Close to take this corner on the near side for the Spitfires. And it would set the cat amongst the pigeons if they were to get a goal early doors here. He floats one into the box, but Owen Evans makes up for his earlier error and claims that one authoritatively and tries to get it out quickly. But he's actually bumped by McCallum as he tried to roll the ball out, and the referee has stopped it for a foul when he could have just played on, really.
Yeah.
As Owen Evans rolled it out to Collinge, but he gets a second chance. And the referee is being pretty fussy here and wants Owen Evans to go all the way back to the penalty area. And the Bees finally get play restarted with Danny Collinge. Plays it over to this near side with Ryan Glover, forced backwards to Collinge. And we get, as we say, get a brilliant view of Dean Brennan here, who is always very vociferous on the touchline. Drop wide, we're hearing. I think, Brian, you need to keep an ear out for any Brennanisms that we can report here on Hive Live. 7 minutes gone, Barnet 0, Eastleigh 0. No chances yet to report, but here comes Zach Brunt over on the right-hand side. Lays it off to Idris Kanu, taking on his man just on that far side. Tries to cut inside, and he's won a free kick there. Right on that on that far side, I should say. Well inside the Eastleigh half, and that's what we've been missing really, Idris Kanu, while he's been out with injury. Yeah,
absolutely, just having someone on both sides. Obviously, we know Ryan Glover could do it to perfection, but on that right side, we were really listening. Idris Kanu just taking on defenders, drawing fouls, and that's what he's done right now. And we know that Anthony Hartigan over any set piece is always a danger. I know he'd prefer on the other side so he can in-swing it, but this should still be a top delivery, and obviously Barnet have been really, really strong at set pieces this season.
They certainly have. Well, Anthony Hartigan is taking it from the opposite end that he usually does, and he's scored a couple from, but it's going to be an outswinger. In it goes towards the near post. It's headed easily away. Idris Kanu collects the ball outside the area, and Brunt gets it back with Hartigan on the far side. Brunt gets a high ball well into the box, but Joe McDonald is going to claim that one. It was far too high and far too close to the keeper. McDonald gets it out very, very quickly to the rapid Tyree Shade, who scored in the reverse fixture, and he's taking on Tavares. Still Shade. Shade gets the ball into the box. It's blocked by Tavares. Weak claims for handball, and it's another corner for the Spitfires on this near side. Yeah,
good play from them, and that starts from Joe McDonald getting the ball out quickly to Tyree Shade, and he's able to win a corner. So fair play to Eastleigh, playing out really quickly and from one into another. They have another corner.
Yeah, Brumulexis, Minster man here. It was over and done with not 3 weeks ago, but now I'm delusionally confident about our odds of topping the table.
Wow.
So that's a York fan who is definitely not giving up the ghost. And fair play to the Minstermen, they have not given up.
Absolutely.
This title race, playing without pressure, really.
And then why should they give up, you know? Why have given them a way back?
So Close is going to take this corner. He floats one into the box. It almost found McCallum, but the header away finds Hartigan on the far side. Can the Bees launch a counter? Hartigan tries one down the right channel, but it was never going to find Brunt, and it's well intercepted there, although Barnet win it back in the middle of the park. And here comes Callum Stead launching a counter attack for the Bees. The West Stand urging the Bees forward here. With almost 10 minutes gone, here's Ryan Glover on the near side, lays it off to Collins, but gets that. It's a really loose ball, and Eastleigh now win possession back, and they can come out for a counter-attack here. Bees look a bit open here, and Paul McCallum tries to get on the overlap, but Evans had a great starting position, plays it short to Stead, who plays it back to Evans, who's put under pressure, and gets one out with his left. Glover is challenging for the header, and it's going to be a Barnet throw right on the halfway line. Eastleigh looking somewhat dangerous on the counter.
Yeah, definitely. It's just coming on this right-hand side. I mean, they're getting the ball out quickly to Sade. He's really got a lot of pace to take on Collins. But Bees have defended him pretty well. But yeah, Eastleigh defo looking like they're up for it today, even though they've got very little to play with, and it's just not clicking so far yet for the Bees.
Yeah, Kanu was trying to take on his man on the far side and ran the ball straight out of play for an Eastleigh throw-in. Bit of a waste there.
Not the fast start we're usually haven't seen the fast start in quite some time from the Bees, but we do know they like to work their way into games and dominate possession, so just like to see that happen over the next 15 or so minutes.
Well, I've just seen the Paul McCallum, I can't call it a chance, but it's on the replay, and a better ball and he would have been in there.
Yeah.
So a bit wasteful from the Spitfires there. They almost win it back in the middle of the park though. But here's Ryan Glover for the Bees just on this near side. Plays it infield to Mark Shelton. Hartigan. Brennan is claiming quicker. Now Reece Brown plays it over to the right hand side with Idris Kanu. Still Kanu taking on his man, chops into the penalty area. Has he overrun it? Yes, he has, and that's going to be a goal kick for Eastleigh on 11.5 minutes. Still 0-0.
Yeah, seems like Barnet's best way of action at the moment is through just Kanu on that right hand side. Has a number of touches, taken on his man a couple of times. This time was good defending from the Spitfires just to stand him up and push him out of play, but Barnet finds it hard to find pockets like they're usually so good at, you know, your Reece Brown, your Callum Stead, just haven't been able to get in the game as of yet.
As of yet, no. And surprisingly, Eastleigh actually do look up for this, maybe a response to their 4-0 loss up at Rochdale, and the law of the X would state that Paul McCallum has every chance of being a danger for them back at his hive return. He nods one over to Tyree Shade, who gets one into the box, but it's miscontrolled in the end by Shikuna on the 6-yard box, and it's out for a Barnet goal kick. Evans plays it out quickly to Hartigan. Hartigan leads Barnet up the pitch, plays it over to the right with Kanu. Still inside the Barnet half. Shelton gets it back to Tavares. Spreads the play to Aluwo as Barnet try and launch a new attack. But it's all being played around the back line at the moment. Collins over to the right-hand side with Nick Tavares. Good to see Nick Tavares starting again after picking up a knock against Braintree and being forced on after Miles Kenlock had to be taken off for a serious injury.
Yeah, absolutely.
Against Wealdstone last week.
Yeah, I think it's good to see that Barnet have now got a back five that we're used to seeing. I think last week it ended with a back four that none of us have really seen this whole season, so it's good to see a bit of consistency now.
Yeah, 36-year-old Jerome Akimo had to fill in. Player coach Jerome Akimo, who's barely played this season, had to fill in, and he did a fairly decent job in the end, didn't he?
He did an astute job, but towards those last 10 minutes you could just see he just wasn't fully fit. But like you said, when he was playing, he was very astute, had a good game, I think.
Well, the Barnet fans doing their best to spread positivity. If you love Barnet, stand up is the cry, and a lot of them are obliging. And Barnet still in possession now. Nick Tavares over to Hartigan. Infield to Shelton. Shelton carries the ball forward, right in the middle, lays it off to Anthony Hartigan. Spreads it to Kanu. Kanu seems to be a common outlet today so far. Just hasn't quite found his feet, although he did win a free kick earlier with tricky feet, but here comes Ryan Glover. Runs infield, lays it off to Hartigan again, and it's back with Kanu. Kanu against Bouton. Gets it back. Still Kanu right on that far side. Can he find space for a cross? Lays it off, but that's not the best ball, I'm afraid, and Ben Close wins that one. It's cleared straight away out the pitch, but Oluwo is going to win that ball back very easily and spreads it to Collins. Collins just past halfway line on the left-hand side. Bees getting a bit of a foothold in the game possession-wise so far. Here's Glover. Over to Stead. Now Hartigan. Eastleigh holding their shape for now. Yeah. Now Glover on this near side. Back to Hartigan. Go on, Rob.
Just got to mention about their Eastleigh shape. It was really, really good. You have Paul McCallum up top, but Sade just coming in, making it like a midfield fire, making it really difficult for Barnet. All they can do is go from side to side and side to side. Nothing's coming through the middle. He's got to find it out wide. Hope for individual brilliance.
Well, here's Shelton. Can they find it now? Brunt just on the edge of the area. Spreads it to Idris Khan, who gets one into the box. And it was across the face of goal. And it evaded everyone in the end, especially Ryan Glover, who was at the back post, or should have been closer to the back post. And it's out for an Eastleigh throw-in. But the first real sign of positivity for the Bees after 15 minutes.
And that's what happens. Barnet is sped up in the middle. Good turn in the middle from Zach Brunt. Gets out wide to Idris Kanu. Cross, we can't really see from this angle whether it was a good cross, but Dean Brennan had his hands up in the air like, where was Callum instead of Ryan Glover in the box? I think he wanted runners to just gamble, and when you gamble, you get on the end of things.
Yeah, it was good build-up play in the end from the Bees, but it didn't yield anything. And there's a foul against Kanu, committed in the middle of the box. Yeah, it was just seen it on the replay. It was a decent cross by Idris Kanu, but no one really gambling and attacking that ball. Callum Stead might have been on his heels, I think. Yeah. Hartigan over to Kanu now, who's been heavily involved so far. Great to see him back. Of course, Barnet have recalled Jermaine Francis and Reece Hall-Johnson, and both of them can play on the right hand, on the right wing, but neither of them are even in the squad.
Yeah, neither of them in the squad.
Eastleigh have won the ball back in the middle of the pitch, but it's totally miscontrolled, although they have won a throw-in on the far side. Paul McCallum did well there after Shakuna miscontrolled the ball. And it's an Eastleigh throw on that far side, just inside the Barnet half now.
Just as you mentioned about the recall of the loans and Jerome Francis and Reece Hall-Johnson, it's interesting that they were recalled. I think a lot of Barnet fans saw that and were thinking, are the injuries even worse than what we anticipated? But I think it was just you had to recall them by a certain time for them to qualify for this game, should they be needed. But the good thing for the Bees is that Glover is fit, Tavares is fit, Kanu's fit, so good to see.
Throw-in taken down the line towards McCallum, who heads it into the box, but that's going to be easy for Owen Evans. Simon Brereton said, I was at the Gateshead v York game today and did not recognise the account you guys gave. We were very slow to start, lucky to go in 1-1, but muscled them out of the game in the second half.
Wow.
Collins spreads it over to Oluwo. Tavares infield to Hartigan. All inside the Bees half, patient stuff so far. Collins back to Oluwo again, all inside the Bees half. Now Hartigan. Ball played down the right flank towards Zach Brunt, but well over hit. And it's a wasteful ball in the end, and it's a goal kick for Eastleigh, 18 minutes in.
Yes, it has a similar feel to the Wildstone game. You know, Barney just really struggled to get going to begin with. I guess you've got to give credit to Eastleigh. Their shapes are really difficult, hard to break down. That's what Dean Brennan said in the game after the Wildstone game. They're hard side to break down. They're showing it today.
Ball played down the right channel towards Tyree Shade, but he miscontrolled it, and it's out for a Barnet throw-in well inside their own half, taken quickly by Collins.
Is it Shade or Sade?
Well, I don't see an accent on the E, and I've only ever heard him referred to as Tyree Shade, but we'll have to ask him at half-time. Yeah. If any Spitfires listening know, or any other fans who know Tyree Shade or Sade, let us know the correct pronunciation and we'll get it right.
Because there is a Brentford player, same spelling but pronounced Sade, so interesting to know.
Yeah, well, that can be the half-time quiz for the audience. Is it Shade or Sade? Over to the right-hand side with Kanu again. Inside the Eastleigh half. Forced back to Tavares. Now Aluwo. Everyone from Eastleigh behind the ball. Kanu surely fouled there as he moved the ball inside towards Brunt. And that's what Kanu does so well. He just attracts fouls, attracts yellow cards, things like that. Shelton tries the ball towards Callum Stead, but it's deflected and found its way to Reece Brown on the left-hand side. Now Glover, can he drive towards the penalty area? Can he find space maybe for a shot as he drives inside? Plays it through the middle. Manages to get it over to Tavares, but a good sliding challenge there, intercepted the ball, and Hartigan recycles possession. Back with Idris Kanu now on the far side. Glover, who has drifted all the way over to the right-hand side, and he's actually run the ball out of play, has Ryan Glover, and that's another throw-in, this time for Eastleigh. David Watkins says Sade for me, he's a smooth operator.
Oh, Sade
Very
is.
good. No, that's a joke for the artist Sade, who had a famous single, Smooth Operator. We won't sing it for you.
Fairs.
Very good, David. Ball finds its way over to Owen Evans, who rolls it out to Collinge. Tyree Shade thinks about pressuring him, but Collinge is allowed to move forward and plays the ball forward, but really sloppy ball intercepted, and it's Humphreys who plays it over to the right-hand side with Shade. I beg your pardon, not Humphreys, it was Taylor. They try to get the ball into the box, and they've won another corner on this near side. He's sloppy in possession so far.
Yeah, really sloppy so far, and something Dean Brennan's not happy about, but credit to Eastleigh, just picking on the Bees' mistakes, earning themselves some corners, and they're just growing in confidence in this game. Maybe they came to this game thinking that Barnet top of the league, stay strong at the back, but they're growing into this game, and no chance of it yet, but they do have a set piece.
Well, I've got an update for you on Shade. Apparently it is Shade, says Tom Fielder.
Yes.
So might need to fact check that one,
yeah,
but
we'll go
that's a
with
vote
Shade.
in favour of Shade. In the corner comes McCallum, rises for it. A few half-hearted claims from the Eastleigh players for a handball against Tavares, but not given, and is another corner to Eastleigh.
They're piling on the corner stats, aren't they, Eastleigh? And fair play to them. But fair play to Barnet as well. They defended these set pieces really well. Eastleigh haven't managed to get a sniff.
Yeah, well, this time it's going to be on the far side. Ben Close is going to line this one up. You're in down the backside is the call from the assistant manager of Eastleigh. In the corner comes McCallum, rose for it, but Owen Evans, really good claim from him. And as Paul McCallum went back, that's the second time that's happened. Paul McCallum has knocked over Evans. Evans plays a drop kick quickly over to the right-hand side with Stead, who is busting a lung to try and reach it. Is he going to do it? Well, he's prevented the goal kick, and it's a throw-in for Eastleigh, but that was really good work in the end from Stead.
Yeah, really good work in the end from Stead, but really good defending from Bouton. He matched Stead, pace for pace, really, and well done to Stead for making sure it wasn't a goal kick and forcing Eastleigh to now play their way out from deep inside their own half. Referee just spoke to Owen Evans there. I think he's not happy with Paul McCallum, like you said, getting in his way a couple of times when he's trying to get the ball away quickly.
Ball thrown down the left channel for Eastleigh. Is there a foul? Yes, there is, against Tavares, who was adjudged to have pushed over Paul McCallum, who was a strong man, Paul McCallum, and he's not going to go over that easily, but he has done anyway. And it is a free kick for Eastleigh in their own half, just on the far side.
Eastleigh taking their time on these free kicks, corners, just trying to frustrate Barnet as much as they can.
Well,
really.
I was going to say the exact word. Frustrate is the order of the day from Kelvin Davis's side. And it's Joe McDonnell who's actually going to take this. Everyone for Eastleigh inside the Barnet half. Joe McDonnell launches one over. Is it going to be collected by Lee Hodson? No, it isn't. It's gone all the way out for a Barnet goal kick. And here's Aluwo for the Bees inside the Barnet half. Tavares gives it back to Aluwo.
Just looking at it now, I think Reece Brown's trying to drop in a bit more to try and dictate stuff. Instead's gone back in the middle, back forward.
Well, and Love is, of course, on the bench.
Yeah.
Big presence, and I would not be surprised to see him introduced sooner rather than later.
At all. I think with Love, you can just have that second option of going a bit long if it's not working, as Barnet trying to play through teams, but Love offers that option because he's so strong, so good at holding on the ball, and against a defender like Francelet, you need that sort of strength.
Yeah, Francelet, the Guadeloupean international. Here's Idris Kanu on the far side, plays it back to Tavares. And the ball tried to play through the pocket, but it's easily intercepted, and Eastleigh have a chance to launch a counter-attack now. But Tavares does really well, and he's been fouled in the end by Corey Panzer, who tried to prevent the quick free kick, and the referee here is going to award Panzer a yellow card. That was so needless, wasn't it?
Yeah, so needless. Just tried to delay the restart, and we now know in this day and age, delaying the restart is a straight yellow card, and Corey Panzer's now in the book.
Bit of the dark arts from Eastleigh so far. Bit of Paul McCallum knocking over the keeper, and Corey Panzer preventing the quick free kick. You can see the game plan here from Eastleigh.
Absolutely. I mean, when you come to the Hive, you're going to have some form of dark art, some form of difference maker. And I think for Eastleigh, it's just doing that, taking their time, frustrating the bees, because we frustrate the team, we frustrate the fans, and the longer that goes on, the more nerve-wracking it gets. Especially now that Barnet have dropped points in their last 2 games, so win is really, really vital.
Well, that's right. I mean, the York win can only have 2 different effects. It can either galvanise you to go and light the touch paper and say, you've got to go and get the win now, or it can put pressure on you and say, well, actually, suddenly we need to win, and the pressure's on, and the players can obviously put on this front of calmness, and we only need to win our games, of course, but they are only human, so there's plenty to play for. Here's Zach Brunt over on the right hand side, lays it off to Kanu, being doubled up upon, gets one in towards the middle, and Brown gets a shot away. It was blocked in the end, and Joe McDonnell holds on to the ball.
Again, it's that right hand side, Idris Kanu causing all sorts of problems, gets the ball, and it's a good first touch from Reece Brown. Unfortunately, he's just stretching a bit when he gets his shot away, and fair play to Eastleigh, close him really quickly, get the block in, and McDonnell's able to collect, and Eastleigh were able to restart. But
just going back to that point that I was saying earlier, there has been an air of inevitability about Barnet for such a long time. They were 11 points clear at the end of the Dagenham game, and the gap's now been reduced to 3 points. Albeit Barnet obviously have this game in hand that they're playing right now. Here comes Idris Kanu for the Bees. Again, so involved so far, even though the Bees haven't had many chances of note. Still going is Idris Kanu, driving down the right-hand side. Can he get the ball in? Has he been pulled down? It's a free kick just on the edge of the area on the far side. And it's a yellow card as well for the man who pulled him down. Was it Bouton?
Yeah, Bouton, he's in the book, and Idris Kanu, once again, we've been saying it right before the game, he's such a threat. When it's 1v1, no fullback wants to face him, and he does what he does best, gets on the wrong side of Bouton. He's going in the box, and Bouton's got to bring him down. Fortunate for Bouton, he pulls him just outside the area, but another opportunity for the Beast to get a good delivery in the box and hopefully break the deadlock, because that's what broke the deadlock against Waldstone from a set piece.
Yeah, well, in a game which has yet to come to life, Idris Kanu has been the one who's at least trying to make things happen at the moment, and it really was just outside the area, as we've seen on the replay. So it's going to be Hartigan, who we know has a mean delivery. It is on that far side. Hartigan into the middle, right towards the front post, punched away by McDonnell. That was a waste, really, and it's back with Hartigan. Now Brunt lays one inside to Glover, forced back to Shelton, and now it's all the way back with Kanu, who has assumed the quarterback role.
Can't give it away here.
Trying to take on his man. Great run from Kanu. He's been fouled again. Referee plays advantage. Stead cutting inside, just inside the penalty area. Stead over to Shelton, urged to shoot. He gets it back, and the Bees overplaying it on the edge of the area. Here's Zach Brunt. Jake Taylor dove in there, but here's Callum Stead over on this near side. Kanu looks so lively at the moment. Now Brunt. He's got Stead in some space here. Stead gets one in towards the middle. It's cleared away. Hartigan heads it over to Collins, and the Bees just starting to show a little bit of attacking mettle here. Here's Hartigan. And that's livened up the Bees crowd in front of us.
Yep, Idris Khan, he's the guy just drawing in defenders. He just draws defenders in and just at the last minute gets the ball away and wins free kicks.
Great work from Tavares there on that right-hand side. Has been pulled.
Corner.
Well, he's won a corner on 29.5 minutes. Barnet 0, Eastleigh 0, but it is a corner kick for the Bees on that far side.
Much better from Barnet. Winning set pieces, winning free kicks. Hopefully they can make this pressure count. I think the fans feel it as well. The atmosphere has just increased the tide over the last couple of minutes.
Well, Zach Brunt is standing over this one. He can deliver one, an in-swinger with his left. Hartigan is hovering if he lays it off to him. What's Brunt going to do here? Taking their time are the Bees, unless the referee is halting play. Yes, he is. The referee is halting play as he talks to Francilette and Aluwo. So finally the corner can be taken, and it's going to be Zach Brunt, surely with an in-swinger. In it comes from Brunt, punched away well by Joe McDonnell. It comes all the way out to Brunt again. He's going to get another opportunity here to get one into the box. He lays it off to Hartigan. Still Hartigan. Can he get one in? It's blocked, and the Bees waste the opportunity again. And Eastleigh clear and win a throw-in well inside their own half.
Yeah, Deep Brennan frustrated about that. Ball comes into the box. Fair play to McDonnell, punches it out, but they can't get that second ball in. Unfortunately, fair play to Eastleigh, defended him really well. And that kind of just sucks the life out of that attack, because Barnet were on top, they were building momentum.
Well, Bees fans unhappy with how long Eastleigh were taking with the throw-in, and the Bees win it back in on the halfway line. Here comes Danny Collins for Barnet. Plays one over to the right with Tavares. Now Kanu on that far side once again. Driving inside, lays it off to Shelton. Poor ball from Shelton, and Eastleigh intercept, and Paul McCallum tries to launch a counter and uses experience brilliantly there to turn his man and win a free kick.
Yeah, good play there from Paul McCallum. Firstly, poor from Shelton and giving the ball away, but McCallum has got nothing going forward, just puts his body in the way, wins the free kick. Again, just slows the game down for Barnet, which they don't want. And they'll be taking at least another 30 seconds to take this free kick. And
well, it's been lacking quality, that's for sure. In half an hour, we haven't really seen any moments of quality whatsoever.
Outside of Idris Kanu,
Outside of Idris Kanu, who's looked very lively so far. The other players don't seem to have got the memo, if I'm being honest. Collins heads the ball away from the resultant free kick, and here's Reece Brown, who's been hardly involved at all, but he can drive forward for the Bees and plays it over to the left with Stead, but it goes straight out of play, frustratingly for the Bees. 32 minutes gone, Barnet 0, Eastleigh 0.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen for the Bees yet, especially for, like you said, the creative players like your Glovers, Steadies, Brownies, just can't get into the game. Brunts, other than Idris Kanu, just haven't been able to flow at all.
Zach Brunt heads it over to Stead, launches one into the air and tries to get onto his own ball. Bees win it back. Now Kanu, just inside the Eastleigh half, just on that far side. Great turn from Brunt and a pirouette. He's been pulled back, but the referee plays advantage. Shelton lays it off to Stead. Stead loses possession far too easily, and that's a brilliant turn from McCallum on the halfway line, and he lays it off to the left-hand side, which Shakuna tries to play in shade, but it was a poor ball, and it finds Owen Evans' hands rather than his teammates' feet. Here's Danny Collins. Eastleigh definitely looked dangerous on the counter-attack.
Absolutely, it's just the final ball that's been really poor.
Final ball hasn't been there, has it?
But McCallum's done really well in holding up the ball against Eastleigh. Good turns, good hold-up play.
Tavares drives forward for the Bees, and now Shelton back with Kanu. Takes on Bouton, now Brunt. First signs of life as well from Zach Brunt as he shows some decent skill just a minute ago.
Yeah, nice turn.
To turn his man. Here's Reece Brown over on this near side. Lays it off to Glover. Taking on McCallum. Lays it back to Brown. Still Brown. Finds Glover. Can he get one in with his left? It's well blocked. Still Glover. Back with Brown again. Just inside the penalty area. Still Brown trying to run inside, but it's really good defending in the end from Fernandez, who clears.
Yeah,
it was a brick wall, wasn't he, Fernandez?
Yeah, brick wall. Just didn't let him get past him. I just heard someone in front of me say, get it in the box, but the things with the Bees, they haven't got anyone of presence in the box to win any headers, so it's got to be low crosses.
Yeah, slight frustration from some of the Bees faithful here. Now Hartigan. Tavares and now it's Kanu again. As he takes on Noah Bouton, who is on a yellow card, so he has to be careful. Still Kanu, has he overrun it? He's done far too much there, Idris Kanu. Needed to release that earlier, and he's conceded a foul. Yeah,
fair play to Shakuno. Doubled up, helped out Bouton, his teammate, and just won the free kick. And once again, another attack goes begging for the Bees.
Yeah, it's not been a classic so far.
No, not at all. The standards Barnet usually set at the Hive just haven't been matched, or we could say the curse of the zone, because last time on the zone it was a 0-0 against Oldham. Hopefully.
Well, last time we were here.
Yeah.
In the press box, indeed. It was a very, very cold evening with Harry Pritchard alongside us as well, and I'm afraid he had to bring me a hot water bottle. That's how cold it was.
Freezing cold.
What a gentleman he was.
Yeah. Top man.
I do feel slightly pathetic saying that, to be honest, but it was the warmth didn't feel pathetic. Oh. Ball play back to Owen Evans, and that's poor, and he's been rounded, and it's Tyree Shade. He's rounded Owen Evans, it's pulled back to McCallum, and of course it's Paul McCallum who scores. Of course it is.
Yep, we said it literally before the game. It was written for him to come back and sting the Bees, but it's just a poor pass back. I'm not sure he passed it back, it might have been Adi Aluo, but Owen Evans can't get it. Fair play to Tyrese Shea, because he keeps his composure. As soon as he rounds the keeper, he looks up, finds his teammate in the area, and he can't miss from that close. And he puts the Eastleigh 1 up, and the shock is on York fans. We'll all be happy with this so far, but Barnet have time to turn this around, but it's just been poor from Barnet so far. Maybe that's the kick they needed to get going.
Well, just looking at it on the replay, it was Mark Shelton with a shocking ball back. And Tyree Shade rounded Owen Evans, unselfishly squared it to Paul McCallum, who was never going to miss from the 6-yard box. Yeah. And, well, I don't feel very good about it, but I called it. It was inevitable. And Paul McCallum has opened the scoring for the Spitfires on 36 minutes. And this is concerning.
Very concerning. And I beg your pardon, I said Adi Lewis played the pass. It was Mark Shelton, but I mean, you couldn't say it was a goal that was coming, but there was always that threat from Eastleigh, and they just picked apart Barnet, capitalised on the mistake.
Well, Glover has got across into the box as the Bees try and instantly respond. That's certainly woken them up a bit. Well, it certainly needs to as well. And this is not going to do very much for the nerves in the stands, is it?
No, not at all. I mean,
but fans are notoriously not calm, I think is one way of putting it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they weren't calm before the game, but now it feels like panic stations, because there is a lot of time left for the Bees, but this wasn't on the script at all.
It certainly wasn't in the script, and Eastleigh have taken a fairly unlikely lead here through ex-Barnet Paul McCallum. Here's Reece Brown for the Bees on the near side. Now Glover. Can he get the ball into the box? He can, but it's easily cleared away by Enfield native Fernandez.
Yeah, and that's the issue with the crosses coming in. I mean, they haven't been of quality, but there's just no one that's going to really challenge that Eastleigh back line. It's a really tall Eastleigh back line, so any sort of cross, they'll take that. That's the bread and butter.
Amanda Brewerton says this is a hard listen. Come on, Bees. I hope that's not an indictment of our commentary, Amanda, and my ridiculous stories about hot water bottles. Hang in there, Amanda. Here's Idris Kanu, back with Tavares. Collins over to Glover on the left-hand side. What can the Bees do here? Can they find a quick response? Brown inside the area, being forced away by Fernandez and Shade. Shade pushes his man there, but nothing given. And Brown wins a throw-in off of Shade, who is doing his defensive duties well. Eastleigh relentless at the moment in defence.
Yeah. You'd like to think that eventually the quality should shine through for Barnet, but at the moment they just haven't.
And the deflection from the shot. Well, Danny Collins tried one speculatively. He didn't catch it well at all, but it took a massive deflection, I think off Stead, and almost found the bottom corner. Joe McDonnell had to react quickly. It would have been a really scrappy goal, but here's Idris Khan, who pulls one back to Zach Brunt, gets one in towards the back post with his left, but it's floated in, and Joe McDonnell holds that one so easily there. Yeah. And where's the quality from these crosses?
Yeah, really, really poor. I mean, maybe from Collins, that's what was needed. Instead of passing it, just have a go, have a shot, and like I said, takes a unlucky deflection from Eastleigh's perspective, but good save from Joe McDonnell. But maybe just taking shots from outside the box if Eastleigh going to sit back. That's what may unlock their defence.
Bees come again with Brown. Has he been fouled? Has he tried to get it towards Glover? No. Dean Brennan wants the foul, and he does get the foul eventually. What must be going through Dean Brennan's mind now?
I like to think, I'm sure he'll be saying to the players at halftime, if it is 1-0, just to stay calm, but I think Dean Brennan knows himself that this is a game you ill afford to lose, because Barnet are unbeaten at home this season. What does that baggage carry? You've got a game in 2 days against Sutton United where potentially York could take top spot should Barnet lose that game. So I think he'll be calm and collected knowing there's another half left, but he'll be knowing that this is a game they shan't lose.
Well, here's Aluwo for the Bees. Back over to Collins. Still Collins. Glover tries to get one in with his left. It's taken a nick off Lee Hodson, and it's out. It's out for a Barnet corner on this near side. And it's going to be Anthony Hardigan to take. The quality of the deliveries has been, to be perfectly frank, it's been poor.
It's been poor
so far. There's no sugarcoating that.
He's got the side he wants though, so hopefully a much better delivery.
In the swinger this time it's going to be. 2 hands raised from Anthony Hartigan. In it comes from Hartigan. It's punched away emphatically by Joe McDonnell. What a punch that was.
Brilliant punch with one hand as well.
Shelton is surely pushed to or pulled to the ground by Shade, who was claiming that Shelton had a hand of his shirt, but the referee awards a foul in Barnet's favour. Here's Carney, takes it quickly over to Aluwo. I did say 2-1 in my prediction, so I'm not panicking.
Yeah, but I said 3-1, so mine's also still on.
Here's Glover. Now Brown. Spreads it over to Carnu. If anyone can make something happen, he can. Carnu gets one into the box. It's headed away. Aluwo now needs to rescue this. Heads it over. Not enough on it as he tried to get it to Tavares, and Eastleigh win it back. Play a quick ball down the left channel, but there's no quality on that, and it goes out for a Barnet throw-in in their own half. Aluwo takes it quickly.
Now Eastleigh got something to hold on to.
Well, I think if York fans weren't listening before that, I think a few more have just tuned in.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. Here comes Ryan Glover on this near side. Plays it back to Collins. He's got an opportunity for a shot. It's a good block in the end by captain Jake Taylor. And Owen Evans will collect this. And I don't know, you can sense a slightly more urgency there. Just thinking back to the goal then, I mean, Tyrese Shea did really well to pick up the loose ball. Was it Owen Evans' positioning? Was it a mixture of Shelton's poor ball?
Yeah, it's half from this angle. I think it's... free kick there.
Glover's just won a free kick. We'll come back to Paul McCallum's goal, and he's actually got a yellow card as Jake Taylor as he caught Glover late. His feet were too quick, Ryan Glover. And we need to see some urgency, some quality in that final third now for the Bees. It was a slightly lacklustre performance against Wealdstone. Did have a few chances and enough to win it last week, but it certainly wasn't up to the usual standard, and the Bees currently falling well below their usual standard so far in a game that really they really do need to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's interesting. The last time they played Eastleigh, Bees were in a sort of similar slump off the back of, I think, 2 draws in a row to Halifax and to someone else as well. So Eastleigh just seemed to have Barnet's number this season. I mean, Barnet took a point last time. Eastleigh also took the lead in that game, and Barnet had to score a fairly late equaliser. Shades of that game, to be honest, but
well, it's never over. It's never over till it's over. They squandered a 3-0 lead away at Wealdstone.
Oh, they did.
So, if that's any precedent to go by, then this game is far from over. Anyway, free kick. Hartigan gets one in towards the back post. Collins! It's in! There's the equalising goal! A towering header from Barnet's centre-back, and there is the equaliser. This game was far from over. What was the panic all about?
Absolutely, and we said delivery from Anthony Hartigan. If any way Barnet are going to get into this game, it's going to be through him, through a set piece. And like we said, fantastic delivery to the back post. And Danny Collins, what a header that is. Towers above everyone, heads it into the bottom corner, and he pulls Barnet level. And to be fair, Danny Collins, he's been the one. He had a shot earlier who went very close, but now he's got the equaliser. And what a time to get the equaliser just before half time. Go into the dressing room, bring the boys out, and up for the second half.
Absolutely brilliant time to score. What a header from Danny Collins. No reaction from Dean Brennan. And Danny Collins was straight over to the Bees faithful on that west stand, geeing them up, saying, come on. And that's exactly the right attitude.
Absolutely. I mean, fantastic header from Danny Collins, and that was what was needed. It's a brilliant delivery. Rises above everyone. Heads it hard and low, so the keeper can't really get much to it.
3 minutes added on. We've just seen it on the replay, and actually Danny Collins looking at it. It's a free header, really, but it's not. It's in the middle of the goal.
Yeah,
and the keeper's
corner.
positioning is a bit strange there. He's a bit too far over to the right.
Yeah, I think when you're in the 6-yard box, that's the rule of thumb. If you're in the 6-yard box, that's the keeper's zone, and he doesn't control it at all. But Danny Collins, fair play to him, gets the header, heads it down. It's not in the corner like he said, but McDonald's in no man's land, and it just goes into the back of the net. And the Bees are level.
What was all the panic about? 2-1, this is what I said.
Hopefully 3-1 for my prediction, but
well, this is the
game
thing.
is in the balance.
We need to tell listeners now that if you get the prediction right, I owe you a Rubicon.
Yeah.
And what do you owe me?
You haven't told me.
Ginger beer.
Ginger beer.
We're only doing tropical drinks.
Yeah, tropical drinks in this wonderful weather we've got at the moment.
Well, Eastleigh are actually going to have to make a substitution here, and it's Captain Jake Taylor who's going to come off here. And it's Angel Warui, I think.
Rory, yep.
Again, any Eastleigh fans listening, please do help us out with that pronunciation if we've got it wrong. Angel Warui. So we still haven't restarted after that goal, after 3 minutes was added on, everyone, when Jake Taylor went down with an injury. All the players came for drinks breaks. Well, Jake Taylor, the captain for Eastleigh, is high-fiving all his staff. And you wonder whether that is injury-related or not.
Yeah.
You would assume it would be.
Yeah, you assume it would be. I mean, he could have made the change at half-time. I mean, he must not be able to continue. There's only a few minutes left, so...
He was walking okay, though.
Yeah, he was walking all right.
So, Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1, just before half-time. Mark Pearce says, you're nothing special, we concede every game near half-time. So, Barnet getting a goal just when they needed it, and Danny Collins, who's been instrumental for Dean Brennan's side. He's one of the last remaining members, actually, of Dean Brennan's original squad.
Yeah.
Signed him from a Dover side who were in real dire straits. But he was a diamond in the rough, and he's come on leaps and bounds with the Bees, and he's popped up with a crucial goal here just when they needed it.
Oh, so did they need it, absolutely. And just talking about Danny Collins, also that's that defence. Danny Collins, how many goals? That's the 4th goal this season. Adi Luo, 4 goals. So the contributions from the defence in the opposite end of the area has been really remarkable this year.
Dean Brennan tried to prevent the second ball from going onto the pitch. He's complaining to the 4th official about it. Here come Barnet on the far side with Zach Brunt. Now Carnu. Infield to Hartigan. Could the Bees even get a second just before half-time? Not with a quality of ball like that. It's drilled out of play for a Eastleigh throw in their own half.
Yeah, I think for Eastleigh it's just getting in out 1-1, but for Barnet I think that goal will give them a boost of confidence going into the second half, knowing that, listen, we're in this game. Danny Collins stepped up, and that's what you got in these moments. Big plays for the big games. Danny Collins just stepped up with a big goal.
Throw-in taken down the line, headed forward by Glover. Fernandez heads it. Now Aluwo forward. Ball played first time in the end by Close towards Shade, but he never even made the run. And Tavares has the ball now for the Bees. Is there one last chance before half-time, or is the referee going to blow up? There was, of course, that substitution with Jake Taylor coming off for Eastleigh. Referee seems to be allowing play to carry on so far. Fernandez wins the ball on this near side. Here come Eastleigh with Hodson. Infield to Close. Back to Francelet, the big man at the back. Tries one forward towards McCallum, who had probably mistimed his run there anyway. But it falls to Owen Evans, and the Bees restart once again. Referee checks his watch. Surely any moment now we'll hear the half-time whistle. Now Collins, the goal scorer. Glover finds Brown. Brown, good feet from Brown. Surely fouled there, and is there going to be a chance to get a free kick in there? Is
Hartigan range.
This is Hartigan range.
It looks a carbon copy of where the equaliser come from. Same angle, same player taking it. I'm sure Eastleigh will be marking Danny Collins this time, but what an opportunity for the Bees.
Yep, have Eastleigh learned their lesson. 50 minutes we've now played. So only 3 were indicated.
Yep.
And if the Bees were to get a goal now, it would turn the game completely on its head and make for a completely different second half. And it's exactly the same position almost that Hartigan delivered Collins' goal. Can he do the same again? Can Lightning strike twice? Hartigan in towards the back post again. Lightning cannot strike twice. Aluwo rose for it, well too high for him. And there is the half-time whistle. Well, it was a game that took a long time to come to life. Very, very few chances initially, and Eastleigh took a bit of a shock lead through, of course, Paul McCallum. I called it. I should get some sort of prize for that, surely. No, it was obviously going to happen, and it did. There was an air of inevitability about it into the starting lineup for Chris Maguire, and he finished off a poor defensive moment for the Bees, who were masters of their own downfall in that particular moment. But thankfully, the Bees managed to find an equaliser through stalwart Danny Collins, who grabbed yet another goal this season, and a huge one as well, potentially, in the scheme of things, and headed past Joe McDonnell from an Anthony Hartigan quality free kick, the only really good delivery that he put in all game. And it does mean that the half-time score is Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1, and we will see you for the second half. But before we do, I'm going to play Martin Allen's message again, in case anyone didn't see it pre-match. Martin Allen recorded a special message for Barnet players and fans today, and I think it is worth seeing again. So we'll see you for the second half, Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1.
Good morning, all you Barnet supporters. Good morning, all you Barnet supporters. 5:30 kick-off this afternoon. Edgy few games. Nervy times, but it's always like this when you're at the top and people are trying to knock you off the perch. It's always. Liverpool right now in the Premier League have been the same for the past few weeks. It's just normal. How you come through it and get over it. Positive attitude. Lead from the front. Shoulders back, chins up, sing your hearts out from the start to finish. Back those players, back that manager, and you're going to be champions. And the calmness from behind, whoosh, whoosh. You'll win again. You'll win today. You will win. It's a long day for those players to wait for a 5:30 kickoff, which is not ideal. I know that. But my God, when you get there today and you've paid your money for that ticket, you better support those players. And this is one thing I remember that I loved, and as I was driving down here this morning, when all the ground at Underhill used to sing, "Come on, Barnet, come on, Barnet, come on, Barnet." It's got to be non-stop singing. It's non-stop. Oh my God, my dog's going in the river. No, Dennis. Have a great day. Enjoy it if you can. If you can, enjoy it. You'll soon be over the finishing line with that Champions medal again. Good luck today.
Right, so the players are coming back out, and they are already in their positions pretty much for the second half of Barnet against Eastleigh here on Hive Live Radio with myself, Rory Edwards, and alongside me is Brian Matovu providing co-commentary. It is, of course, Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1. It was Paul McCallum who scored 4 goals in 5 appearances for the Bees back in 2020, haunting his former side from a defensive mistake, and Tyrese Shade pulled it back for him, and he punished the Bees and went over to the small but reasonable travelling contingent of the Spitfires. But it was Danny Collins who got the equaliser for the Bees just when they needed it before half-time. Great time to score, Brian.
Absolutely. Perfect time to score. Going to half-time, the whole team talk changes, really. You go in there 1-1. You know what the end result has to be for Barnet. Win the game. But Danny Collins coming up trumps, and now Barnet just know that they're a win away from closer to prosperity where they want to be.
Well, here we are, and Dean Brennan is shouting, play in their half, play in their half. So no prizes for guessing what he wants them to do.
How it should be.
Long ball played up towards Tavares. Eastleigh win it back. Here come the Spitfires, intercepted by Tavares. No nonsense defending, and it's out for a Spitfires throw on the far side. Mike Glover says, come on Barnet and come on son, I believe you can do it. Mike, if you are the father of Ryan Glover, please let us know.
That is beautiful.
Welcome to Hive Live.
Welcome.
Ryan has he hasn't had too much going on so far.
Not yet.
He's looked lively, and his feet were a little bit too fast for Jake Taylor, I think, who ended up in the book and had to be subbed. But let's see if your boy can get into the game.
Yeah. He's one of our Player of the Season nominations.
Certainly, we bang on about him every week, don't we?
Oh, we love him.
Certainly, this is definitely the Ryan Glover fan club. Here's Owen Evans for the Bees. Short to Danny Collins, the goal scorer.
Find the space.
Here's Tavares. Glover back to Aluwo. Collins. Carney made a run on the right-hand side. But here's Zach Brunt right in front of us here. Brunt lays it off to Idris Kanu. He's got Bhutan and Shikuna for company, but he plays it quickly back to Brunt. Now Collins. Infield to Hartigan. Now Aluwo. Glover. He's patiently playing inside Eastleigh's half. Here is Glover again on the left-hand side. Again, they're really doubling up on the wing-backs. Both Kanu and Ryan Glover can't get a moment's peace. But here's Brunt as the Bees switch it side to side. Kanu again. Bit of a heavy touch from Kanu, and the ball's actually come off him last, and it's an Eastleigh throw-in. And they're like a pack of dogs, really, Eastleigh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Against Kanu and Glover.
As soon as the ball gets switched out wide, midfielders come, double up, make sure that Kanu eventually has to go back inside and play it back. And fair play to Brutus. He's got a yellow card. He's actually had a fairly decent game, but that won't be the end of it from Richards Kanu, because every time he gets the ball on that right-hand side, he will be running at him. And same with Ryan Glover on that left-hand side.
Yeah, no substitutions at half-time for those interested. It's as you were. Here's Shelton for the Bees. Bees camped inside the Eastleigh half. Eastleigh with pretty much everyone behind the ball, bar McCallum. Over to Glover, just on that far side. Still Glover, great from him. Tries to pull one into the box, but the sting was taken out of it and is fallen kindly into the hands of Joe McDonald.
Yeah, it's good defender from Lee Hodson. That Glover goes down the line. We thought he was going to get a crossing, but Hodson gets in the good deflection and goes back to Joe McDonald, who is unsurprisingly taking his time on these with the ball in his hands. Eventually kicks it away. But second half started just similarly to the first half. Barnet just controlling the game, dominating possession, and
the throw-in is taken down the left channel towards Callum Stead.
Changed his mind, giving it to Eastleigh.
Strange bit of officiating that, because Callum Stead was in there from the throw-in.
Oh, he was away.
And we'll have to see that again on the replay. Again, really difficult to see from our vantage point. But a slightly frustrating moment there.
Yeah, I mean, Callum Stead, that's what he loves, of long balls running in behind. Referee let Eastleigh off the hook there.
Ball thrown down the right channel towards McCallum. McCallum rises for the header again as he pushes man in the back. No. McCallum tries to get it to shade, but it's cleared away by the Bees and it's out for an Eastleigh throw.
I've just seen on the replay, the referee didn't signal whose ball it was, so Reece Brown just picked up and threw it.
Barnet fans unhappy with how long is being taken for this throw-in. But it is going to be a long throw. Taken on the far side. Decent throw-in, actually. Headed emphatically away by Mark Shelton, though. Hooked forward again for Eastleigh. Tavares heads it away. And it's Shakuna who went for something a little bit spectacular there outside the area. And it goes well over the bar and it's out for a goal kick.
Firstly, that was a really good throw from Tyree Shea. Didn't know he had that in his locker.
Well, funnily enough, Paul McCallum as well.
Yeah.
Is not bad with a long throw either.
Secret weapon they could use if they need a goal later on.
It was actually a long throw that undid Barnet in a 3-3 draw. Barnet were 3-0 up at Eastleigh.
Wow.
And Eastleigh pulled it back in the last minute to 3-3.
Come on, Ed. Make that one.
Here's Danny Collins on the near side. Now Zach Brunt. Brunt drives inside. Gets it over to Collins. Still Collins now. Now Kanu. Doubled up again. Still Hartigan now. Back with Kanu. Heavy touch from him. Has he been fouled? No, he just sort of throws himself to the floor, hoping for a foul. Shakuna did well. Turns back, does Shakuna, and it's forced forwards. And Owen Evans is going to collect that loose ball. Evans plays it short to Shelton.
Oh.
Now Kanu. Tavares. Over on the far side with Glover. Glover taking on Tyrese Shade. Goes back to Shelton. Patient stuff from the Bees so far. Here's Aluwo. He's come pretty far forward. Now Shelton again. Forced backwards to Tavares. Now Collins. Kanu on the near side. And it's back with Collins again.
Yeah.
Not much penetration going on.
Yeah, it's just a lot of side-to-side stuff, but it's again Eastleigh shape. They've got a flat back five and a flat bank of four right outside it, so it's going to be really, really hard to break it down. Of course, Barnet struggled to do that. No play in the first half, scored through a set piece, so it could be similar as they've set up really, really well. Eastleigh have, but again, just get out to Idris Kanu, and as soon as he gets, he's got to take it out of his feet, take on the defender before they can double up on him.
Which they have done again, Shakuna and Bouton.
Yeah.
Kanu tries to get one into the box, not anywhere near enough power. Tavares, McCallum holds it up against Tavares. Tavares wins the ball brilliantly against McCallum. Good battle there. Collins is caught late by McCallum, and the referee has awarded Barnet a foul. Collins is really unhappy, and he's directed his ire towards the fourth official, and Ross Martin has actually given Paul McCallum a yellow card there.
Yeah.
The Spitfires goal scorer, former Barnet player, is now in the referee's book.
Yeah, and that's another, like you said, another one of their players in the book now. I mean, research before the game, he said the second worst discipline in the league, and you can kind of see why.
53 minutes gone, Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1. There have not been any chances to report so far in the second half. Clash of knees on this near side, wins Barnet a throw. Collins throws it towards Brunt, headed towards Kanu. Kanu, is he going to win this ball? It's hooked away, and Kanu with a bit of afters against Noah Bouton, who has just thrown himself to the ground there. There was a bit of afters between Kanu and Bouton. And Bouton has gone down clutching his face. And we were pretty near that, and I didn't see a lot in that
didn't
at
look
all.
Like anything. I mean, the linesman was not giving it, and he had the best angles right in front of it. I don't think nothing happened to Idris Kanu. I mean, that's been a real battle, Bouton and Kanu. Every single time they've been at it, Bouton's gone down holding his face.
You don't want to see that. I think Bouton has had a torrid time up against Kanu in some respects. Bouton is on a yellow card himself, thanks to Kanu's quick feet.
We'll have a look on the replay now.
And there was just some totally needless afters there. It is going to be a corner to the Bees anyway.
Oh,
and there was just, honestly, we've just seen it on the replay, there was just a bit of hands between the both of them as Kanu pushed away his man and Bouton went down clutching his face. You just don't want to see that.
Yeah, not at all, not at all. We don't want to see people cheating the game and trying to get people sent off and red cards. But well done to the linesman because he didn't fall for it at all, and the referee too.
Yeah, disappointing to see that. But anyway, it has resulted in a Barnet corner on this near side, which Zach Brunt is lining up. Got a decent delivery as Zach Brunt with his left. And we could see an in-swinger here. Can he get the delivery right?
Yeah, ref wants to speak to, I think it's Francelet and Kanu. They've been pushing, they were pushing each other just before the corner's about to be taken, so ref wants to have a word with them.
The ref has given his lectures and finally allows Zach Brunt to take the corner on this near side. In it comes from Zach Brunt. It's headed away by Paul McCallum, but only as far as Zach Brunt, who gets a second bite at the cherry. Plays it infield to Kanu, who's in loads of space. Kanu was urged to go from long distance, but decided not to. Spreads it to Shelton. Can he find some space? He's crowded out there, and now it's Kanu. Driving through the middle, Kanu goes for the long distance, but it took a heavy deflection, and it's out for a corner.
Yeah, good work from the Bees, working a bit of space. I thought when Kanu got the ball the first time, he could have hit it. Seemed like space opened up, but he got it the second time, and it's a good block from Eastleigh. And the Bees faithful are believing that a goal is about to be put in. They can just feel it coming, and Barnet are putting on the pressure.
And I'm starting to feel a bit cold.
Yeah, he's raining a little bit.
As a slight chill descends over the Hive. And it's going to be Hartigan this time with an in-swinger. In it comes from Hartigan. Collins was rising for it again, but it was in front of him. And Joe McDonnell held on to that with grateful hands. And he's going to take his time to get the ball out, is Joe McDonnell. A loyal Eastleigh servant. The 30-year-old he's been at the Spitfires since 2020, and he's taking a long time. It's taking 20 years to actually take this goal kick, which he finally does.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like I think I mentioned on our previous commentary, that next season there is going to be that rule.
The ball was played quickly down the left flank towards Callum Stead, but it ran kindly for Joe McDonnell. Yeah,
there will be that rule where if the keeper holds the ball for longer than 6 seconds, I think it is, the referees are obliged to award a corner. So that'll be interesting to see if that's enforced next season.
I think there'll be quite a few corners in this league for sure.
Oh, there should be, absolutely.
Joe McDonnell drop kicks it. It gets caught up in the wind. And Hartigan aims one forward towards Stead, and it's fallen kindly for Brunt, who gets it over to Reece Brown. Can he carve out an opportunity here? Brunt onto his right. It's Brown! Good save in the end from Joe McDonnell. He caught that sweetly, did Brown, but it was just a little bit too close to McDonnell. And the Bees come again. Great chance from Brown, and he made that all himself, didn't he?
Zach Brown, brilliant footwork from him. Just plays out to Reece Brown. He cuts inside. Looked like an eternity before he hit. Let it go, and fair play to Joe McDonnell. It was a really good stop from him, but Barnet really put on the pressure.
Here's Hartigan driving inside the penalty area. His touch eludes him, and the clearance took a... Well, it was blocked by his own man for Eastleigh, and it's back into the hands of Joe McDonnell. It fell fortunately for him. He falls onto the ball as Eastleigh try and waste precious seconds. I say precious seconds, but still plenty of time to go, and any time wasting antics.
Yeah, just watching it back on the replay. Reece Brown cuts inside, what he usually loves doing.
Yeah, he went for the front post, the near post.
Yeah.
But McDonnell got down quickly, and it's the first real chance of note in this second half. And it's fallen for Reece Brown and the Bees. Tavares is caught late there as he went for the header, and there's a clash of heads there that the referee is going to stop play for.
Yeah, Dean Brennan was saying elbow, and obviously McCallum is booked. And McCallum is booked, so anything he does next will be under very heavy scrutiny from Bees players.
And why wouldn't it be? Don't want to give him any opportunity to haunt his side a second time. He's already scored in this fixture. today. We did call it. It did have a bit of an air of inevitability about it, but the Bees will be really fuming with the way that they did concede it.
Yeah.
Eastleigh win the ball back inside their own half, but a good sliding challenge from Aluwo stops any attack developing, and Eastleigh have a throw-in on the far side.
Just coming to the hour mark, I mean, I know Reece Brown just had that shot, but besides that, it's been really, really not comfortable, but Eastleigh defended well. I think they'll be happy with their performance so far. I think Calvin Davis will be saying just keep it solid at the back, and any mistake Barnet make, we'll capitalise on it, and that's what they did in the first half. So
Hartigan launches one up into the air, but it's a poor one. Collins does really well to control that.
well played.
And that's really calm and composed from Collins, who of course scored Barnet's equaliser just before half-time. A towering header from an Anthony Hartigan free kick that threw the Bees level. Mr. Goat says, get another hot water bottle.
It's not that cold.
It's not quite that cold, but it's getting there. Here's Idris Kanu for the Bees on the right-hand side. He tried to get the ball in early, and it's taken a heavy deflection off Bouton, and it's a corner kick. Can they get one of these corners right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They've had a number of deliveries, just haven't been able to penetrate that 6-yard box. The in-swingers just haven't really managed to cause any sort of problems.
Brunt takes one quickly. Shelton is in loads of space, gets the header towards the goal, but he didn't get enough power on the header, and it's beaten away by McDonnell, and it looked like it took a deflection off a Barnet player, and it is a goal kick in the end. But Brunt caught the Eastleigh defence napping there, and Shelton had a free header in the box.
Absolutely. Corner taken quickly. Mark Shelton steps up, heads it, and it's a good save from McDonnell, and just manages to peter out for a goal kick.
And we are going to see the likes of Lee and Love on 60 minutes. The fact that it is 60 minutes would suggest that was always the plan. And it's going to be Zach Brunt, who's grown into the game, I think.
Yeah, I thought he's had an interesting 5 minutes. He's had that Reece Brown chance just before, and obviously it was his corner that started the Mark Shelton chance just happening now. So I think he'll be a bit disappointed coming off, but Lee and Love is a timely introduction. Someone who can really bully that defence, have a presence, and hopefully, we know he loves the Hive. Hopefully he continues that form today.
Of course, the likes of Harry Chapman as well on the bench. Dom Telford, 2 goal scorers as well in case it's needed. But Love is the first roll of the dice. As you say, Brian, a massive presence up top. Could he make the difference for the Bees, who have struggled to really create many clear-cut opportunities today?
Absolutely.
And they need to take the chances when they come.
Yeah, and Love sees that focal point. Before it was just Reece Brown and Steady interchangeable, but now it's a Love up top, so Steady can just float about, be the creative spark for this team.
You wonder just whether he isn't 100% fit. That's why he didn't start the game, because he surely starts the game otherwise.
Yeah, you like to think so.
Here comes Stead, lays it off to Kanu, doubled up on again, but this time decides to try and go down the byline, but that's a really good interception from Bouton, and Eastleigh have a chance to get it clear.
Yeah.
Forward towards McCallum, but Tavares gets the better of his man. McCallum, no joy against Tavares. Shelton tries to turn, but he can't, and Eastleigh come away, but loose touch there from Warui. And Collins has it now. Kanu again, he's been crowded out by Eastleigh every single time. Back with Collins, who tries a diagonal towards Glover. What a brilliant ball, Hartigan-esque. Glover tries to drive inside, but it's a loose touch, and Warui comes away with it, tries to find Shakuna, which he does, down the left-hand side. Collins eases him out the way. Shakuna was claiming for a foul there, never going to be given, and Kanu comes back with it now. Bit more tempo to the game. Kanu tries to find Stead on the overlap. And instead won a corner. No, he hasn't.
Almost.
Just for a second there, it looked like he might have. But Kanu's ball was too long for him, and it's out for an Eastleigh goal kick.
Yeah, absolutely. Just overhit.
63 minutes gone. Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1. And Eastleigh are lining up another change here. It is going to be Nathan Shakuna, who hasn't really gotten into the game, who's going to be making way for Lloyd Humphreys, the midfielder. He scored 1 goal this season, joined from Western Supermare. 1 player of the season for them a couple of times.
Fair.
So let's see what sort of impact the midfielder can have.
He's got to do a job because Shakuna's been out and about. Hopefully for Eastleigh, he can just have that bit of quality that they've just struggled. They haven't been able to string 4, 5, 6 passes together. It's just been really scrappy from them. But that is their game plan, is just to frustrate.
Can the Bees find one really high quality chance and take it. Kanu has the ball in his hands with a throw, throws it towards Love, who wins the header, but he heads it back to no one really, and it's out for a goal kick, and Love is actually going to collect this one and give it back to the goalkeeper as the Bees try and hurry play along against an Eastleigh side who again don't have anything much to play for other than pride and their contracts.
Yeah.
But there's more riding on this for the Bees, of course. Harry Chapman has just come on, and actually Idris Kanu is coming off, and you can only think again that's injury or fitness related, because this is his first game back after several games out with a what we thought was a hamstring injury. I think against Gateshead, so he's missed a few games since then, and it's going to be Harry Chapman who's coming on. Can he be a difference maker for the Bees today? Chapman, who didn't have the greatest game against Braintree, definitely, and had one chance against Wealdstone, which he made himself. Here come the Bees with Ryan Glover on the left-hand side. Still Glover, again crowded out. Just needs to... He's forced back there to Aluwo. Aluwo lays it off to Shelton.
We just see the adjustment if Chapman is the right wing back that he just kind of was. It looks like he's going to take that position, but he will have to do defensive work should there be turnovers in possession. But Chapman, we know the quality he brings, dribbling ability, he's very creative, and he does have that magic spark in him. How many busting runs have we seen him do this season? So hopefully he can be that spark today.
Dean Brennan wants his team to move it faster, but Eastleigh are just staying in their shape. They've been pretty well drilled today. Ball played over to the right channel with Stead, who, what a brilliant touch over his shoulder. Fantastic work from him, and he manages to lay it off to Chapman, who cuts inside. Brilliant touch from him. Still Chapman. Oh, he tried to round his man, Humphreys, who stood in the way, and I think he was trying to be too clever there, was Harry Chapman, as he drove inside the box.
It was a fantastic first touch to get away from the defender, and he just tried to nip it past him and go past, but he should have looked up and maybe cut it back.
Could have even had a shot,
or had a shot, yeah. But that's what Chapman is. He's a very inventive player, and you don't want to take that out of him because that's one of his best traits that he has.
Scored a few really good goals this season, none more so than the game here against Southend. That seems a long time ago now. All the way back in August. Wow. 2-1 win against the Shrimpers that day.
Yeah, it's good to see him back fit though. He's had a lot of injury problems this season.
He has. Chapman made a good run there if Hardigan could have found him, but he strayed offside and Collins has it now. And the Bees might need to take a few more risks now if they want to get their noses in front. But it is, alas, still on 66, turning into the 67th minute. Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1. York's win against Gateshead, just putting a little bit more pressure than would normally be on this game. Here's Harry Chapman again trying to take on the Eastleigh defence by himself, but it was great work from Bouton. And Eastleigh try and counter now. Bouton chasing the ball. Collins had eyes just for his man there and eased him off the touchline.
Yeah, it was just about legal because he had no eyes on the ball there.
Hartigan lifts one towards Chapman, but he doesn't quite get that one right, and it's going to fall to the Eastleigh defender who hooks it clear first time. Hartigan almost wins the header, but it's fallen to Tavares. Now Shelton back with Tavares. And Bees dominating possession now, and it is attack against defence at the moment.
Absolutely.
And you can foresee this pattern continuing.
It's that flat four. It's really causing Bees a lot of problems. The fair play is Tyrese Shade. He's normally someone who goes forward, but he's doing a great defensive work. And
here's Brown driving on the left-hand side, and he's always going to commit that foul there. Just got his body in the way, did the Eastleigh defender, and Brown had no choice but to bundle him over there. Yeah. And it's a free kick to Eastleigh.
I think
in their own box.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those games where you have these, when you're top of the league playing a side who's, not trying to really gain anything other than a point. It is going to be long strands of possession and frustration, but it just takes that one chance, and for Barnet it came from a set piece, so that might be the route to victory. Just another set piece delivery, good quality.
Well, the Spitfires' defence remaining firm for now. It certainly hasn't been backs against the wall from Eastleigh, has it? It's been really tight and controlled from them, and you have to say fair play.
Yeah.
Unlike, it's totally different to the Gateshead game, which I watched earlier, which was end to end and a bit more of a basketball match, really. This is nothing like that. Eastleigh are sitting in and trying to hit the Bees on the counter. They haven't really been able to get an outlet, and Paul McCallum's totally out the game, but it'd be a good result for Eastleigh, really.
Yeah, good result for them. I mean, They were only just 7 points outside the drop zone before this game, so I doubt they'll get relegated, but they're not out of it as of yet. So they do have a little bit to play for, but like you said, I mean, Barnet have everything to play for. The title's on the line, so you'd anticipate Matovu would come on if they haven't got a goal in the next 10 or so minutes.
That was really a sloppy play from Eastleigh in defence there, just as we were praising them, or at least I was. And it's out for a Barnet throw deep inside the Eastleigh half. Here's Hartigan, cheap giveaway by Eastleigh there. And could the Bees punish them? It's Harry Chapman over on the right. Gets it quickly inside to Collins. This is good. Collins just inside the penalty area. Collins in towards the middle, and an important leg from Francillette, the big man, gets it out for a corner kick.
That's brilliant work from Danny Collins. I think he's been Bees' best performer today, outside of it just Carney. I mean, every single time he's got forward, he's been a danger.
Well, his attacking players had to come in for Kenlock. Kenlock's usually the man on the left-hand side, but Collins is filling in for him brilliantly on this right.
Absolutely, he's done really, really well today.
Well, it's Hartigan with an outswinger in towards the front post, doesn't get nearly enough, and the header has gone over the away stand. That's how high it was. And it's another corner, take two for Anthony Hartigan, who has an opportunity to get this one right. The first one was really poor quality. In from Hartigan towards the middle, and it's actually gone out of play and back in. And Joe McDonnell is in a heap on the floor. And Hartigan, that is really disappointing from Hartigan, who obviously set up the Collins equaliser with a brilliant free kick. But he's hit the front post with the first corner, and the second corner has gone out of play and come back out.
Yeah, not like him, not like what we're used to from Anthony Hartigan. It's not his angle that he prefers. He prefers interwing, and obviously that point's been taken off, so there is no natural left-footed player to whip in those interwing and deliveries. But Hartigan, a man of his quality, should be doing much better, and that's given Eastleigh. They've let them off the hook, really.
20 minutes to go. 20 minutes for Barnet to stake a claim here and make a statement that they want to win this league. They're not going to let York back into it, or at least they're going to do everything they need to do. But Eastleigh are not making it easy
at all.
And Dean Brennan's mantra of there are no easy games in this division is definitely on full display here and last week and the week before that. Braintree, Wealdstone, Eastleigh now. They certainly aren't rolling over.
So, and you've got to look at teams who are like middle of the pack teams. Obviously, Wealdstone near at the bottom of the table, and Barnum's just struggled to find that cutting edge.
Collins with a heavy touch, but manages to win it back brilliantly from Humphreys. Here's Glover, who's drifted over to the right-hand side. Shelton in towards Love. He's bullied off the ball by Francillette, although they can't come out, and the Bees have an opportunity to launch a counter. Here's Harry Chapman driving on the left, cuts onto his right. Chapman! Ooh. It's spilled by the keeper, Joe McDonnell. Didn't get enough on it, and Tavares has hauled Paul McCallum to the floor. Great hold-up play from Paul McCallum. And he's won a foul as Eastleigh come out just on the centre circle, but Harry Chapman, if he'd have got a bit more purchase on that, might have been troubling McDonnell, who parried it out into a dangerous area. Yeah, absolutely. It's Harry Chapman at his best when he's driving at defenders, and he loves that angle, driving, cutting in, getting a shot away. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough purchase on it to really trouble Joe McDonnell and goal, and Eastleigh deal with it. And fair play to Paul McCallum, holds the ball up, wins a free kick, and allows them to push up the pitch, and again just stifles another Barnet attack and takes more time off the clock. Well, some of the better chances for the Barnet, or the better openings, have been when Eastleigh have conceded possession. Yeah, transition. And transitional play. Barnet dominating possession actually doesn't work in their favour. Yeah, it's not been well, not today at all. And it's only been set pieces and, like I said, transition. But what do you do? Do you give possession to Eastleigh and let them make a mistake? I mean, that's a risky tactic, I suppose. Barnet playing it dangerously inside their own area, but they get away with it, and now they can launch a counter-attack, and the Barnet fans urging their team forward here. Reece Brown checks back and spreads the play to Anthony Hartigan, and it's over to Danny Collins. Collins over to the right-hand side with Ryan Glover. Needs to get the ball in early here. Gets one in towards the back post, and there's no one there. It stays in play, though, and Harry Chapman rescues the ball. Taking on his man just inside the penalty area. It's blocked by Hodson, and it's out for a throw, taken quickly by Shelton. Just as we were saying, transitional play is the best outlet for Barnet, and but Eastleigh are back in their shape, and they just finding it really difficult to unlock this very, very obstinate defence.
Yeah, the only way to break down this is individual brilliance, and Barnet do have game changers. You've got your Chapman, you've got Reece Brown, Glovers, guys who can create a chance out of nothing really, but it just hasn't really come through today.
They need the big players to step up.
Absolutely.
Collins has stepped up so far with an equaliser, but that's not quite enough, because a draw today does somewhat open the door.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
still in Barnet's hands.
Oh, absolutely.
Still in Barnet's hands. So there's no need to go too negative. But you just don't want to be. You don't want to be giving anyone a gift. Stead is forced out of play. He just about manages to keep it in, and he's won a throw. Just now, Ryan Glover has it in his hands. Is he going to go for a long one here? And there's not many options. He needs some support here. He throws it short to Hartigan, who chests it pretty well towards Glover. Has he been caught late? No, Glover hasn't been caught late. He caught his man late. Rory has won the foul. And more frustration piles on Barnet. Paul McCallum has the ball in his hands. And he's got a big smile on his face because a bit of the dark arts from Paul McCallum there against Tavares.
You know, he's just hiding the ball and throwing it away. And that's what they've done at Eastleigh. They just frustrated Barnet a lot. Defended really well. We talked about their away record being poor, but you won't be able to tell, given this performance. From front to back, Eastleigh been brilliant. But Barnet just haven't been able to find that cutting edge in attack. Really, really struggled so far, but there's still 50 minutes to go. You know, Barnet, the king of late goals. We saw it in the Dagenham game, we saw it in the Sutton United game, so it's definitely not over, but we just haven't seen that kitchen sink level of domination in the final third, so they just really got to turn it on.
Well, as I mentioned earlier in commentary, Eastleigh squandered a 3-goal lead away at Wealdstone. Wealdstone scoring late on there.
So he conceded 4 goals last week, but you're thinking, how could this side concede 4 goals given the performance they put on today?
It's never over until it's over, and Barnet just need to keep plugging away here. Bees camped inside the Eastleigh half again, and as we say, when Eastleigh are in their shape, they are borderline impossible this game to break down. Just so disciplined. Glover is the only one in space on the far side, but he's too difficult to find from here as the ball is being played on the far side. Here's Tavares, gets his feet in a tangle, but no one near him to punish him. Comes forward. Can the Bees just get a bit more urgency and speed in their play here? Chapman over to Reece Brown. He's got 2 for company again, and it's out of play, and it's a throw into Eastleigh. And where's the quality?
Yeah, it's just haven't been on. I think Brown has had a poor game, just hasn't been able to get going outside of his shot. But it's difficult, you know. A deep block is the most hardest thing to break down. You have to have a plan B, and I think Dean Brennan just struggling to find.
Put Owen Evans up front, maybe. I think.
Yeah, it might be. Like, so we saw Man United yesterday when the goal. Harry Maguire went up front. He scored the goal. They went long, and that's not Barnet's mantra to go long, really. But that might have to be the ploy.
Well, as you mentioned, late goals were scored against Sutton. That was a 99th minute equaliser from Glover /
Nick
Hayes.
Yeah.
Dagenham saw a late winner from Lee and Love. Bees had so many chances, had chances to win 3 games that day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Chapman over on the far side. Twisting and turning, great work from Chapman. Can he get the ball into the box? It's a good block, and it's a corner kick on the far side to the Bees. They haven't made any of these corners pay so far. Lee Hodson has gone down here. And
Reece Brown is a nappy. I mean,
Lee and Love and Reece Brown have jogged over to Hodson, who's on the floor. I'm not sure what the...
Yeah, I think they're saying to the referees off the pitch, he's not. You can keep play going.
Yeah, that'll be it. But he's probably come back onto the pitch.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Yeah.
To sort of be injured on the pitch, but he's all right as he hops back into the 6-yard box. Lee Hodson. And it's Hartigan with the delivery. McCallum heads it away. Chapman gets it back over to Hartigan on the far side. Now Chapman again. Bees keep all their players in the box. Here's Tavares driving through the middle. Over to the left with Chapman. Now Hartigan Hartigan, Shelton has a bit of space to get on into the middle. And it's sliced away only as far as Hartigan gets it over to Shelton. Is he onside? He is onside. Shelton back with Chapman. There's a reticence to cross into the box as they work it side to side again. Here's Glover on the right hand side. Great way from him into the penalty area. Glover, it was a brilliant block in the end from Fernandez. And Eastleigh can clear, but it's only as far as Chapman, whose touch finds Owen Evans, and the Bees come once again. 79 minutes gone. Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1, and the openings starting to come a little bit, but the end product just not there. Loose ball though there, and Eastleigh can come away. Here's Tyree Shade with a really heavy touch. Stead with brilliant defensive work to win it back. And can they get something here on the transition? Eastleigh running back into shape. Here's Chapman.
Slowed it down.
They've slowed it down far too much. Where's the urgency? And Dean Brennan is apoplectic with his side. Here's Ryan Glover inside to Callum Stead. Collins needs to quickly release that, being chased down by McCallum, who's working tirelessly as Paul McCallum, not usually part of his game.
Yeah, fair play to them. 80 minutes gone.
Drilled over to the left-hand side with Chapman. Good touch from him. Chapman goes inside. Here's Hartigan. Hartigan urged to shoot from distance. Lobs one into the middle, and Love is cleared. It's Glover. And the referee's awarded a foul for a push on the Eastleigh defender, and Eastleigh get away with it, and it's a free kick to the Spitfires.
Fair play. It's quality defending that from Eastleigh. Hartigan plays an inventive, cheeky little chip, tries to get to Liam Love, but it's good defending there from Eastleigh, and Liam Love just barges into the defender and causes a foul.
Well, if the Bees are not able to win today, it would mean that, well, they went 25 games unbeaten, but they'd be winless in 3 games, which is pretty poor form at any stage of the season, let alone at the business end of the season.
Especially as the side top of the league. I mean, it's literally the wrong time to be in a bad run of form. I mentioned earlier that when the Bees played Eastleigh last time, they were in the midst of a draw kind of run, and Eastleigh are the king of draws. I think only Woking has more draws than them this season, so this is what Eastleigh do. They just frustrate and they take a point. But it's frustrating for Barnet. I mean, guys like Callum said, I've barely mentioned his name today. I mean, top goal scorer, hasn't had any opportunity to score today. Liam Love's come on, hasn't really made much of a difference. Reece Brown, no one other than Danny Collins, and it just can't when he was on the pitch. When his has gone off, seems as if the attacking has gone down.
Well, Eastleigh are making an attacking change, like for like. It's Paul McCallum, who's going to come off for 36-year-old Scottish attacker, centre forward Chris Maguire.
Replacing experience of experience.
Ryan Glover has also come off here. He went down clutching his calf, I think.
Might be a bit of cramp again.
And it's Dom Telford, who's also a goal scorer, who's coming on here. So you've got Dom Telford and you've got Liam Love, 2 very different types of attackers on the pitch. With 8 minutes to go, Dean Brennan is rolling the dice. Well, he's been forced to make a change. That's an interesting thing, isn't it? Like, he hasn't rung the changes per se, has he?
Yeah,
I mean, he's brought on Love. Now he's been forced to bring on Telford as Glover went down injured.
Yeah.
And the Barnet fans are roaring their team now, trying to get them through the final stretch of this game as it is evenly poised.
Yeah, similar to like a Martin Allen rallying call. I'm sure he's rallying the troops wherever he is at this moment in time, and they need that last urge. 8 minutes or so to go, and listen, it's still in Barnet's hands regardless of the result, but a win would be a massive, massive step towards that National League title.
Psychologically as well.
Oh, psychologically, absolutely. You go into that Sutton United game knowing that a win virtually seals it. Of course, you can't look at that game now, but game's coming thick and fast, and York are ever growing, ever closer.
Here come the Bees inside the Eastleigh half.
It's essentially like a 4-2-4 when you look at it in attack for Barnet.
Plenty of attacking players on the pitch for the Bees. Stead, Telford and Love, Reece Brown, Harry Chapman.
Yeah, I mean,
these are goal-scoring players, and yet the only player who scored for Barnet today is a defender.
Yeah, so and you could take that risk because Eastleigh aren't going to push anyone forward, so you can have that gamble and Collins on all your lures going up front in the last few moments or so, because Eastleigh have nothing going forward, so you can take further risks.
Chapman runs into trouble on the near side, and Eastleigh come away with it. They've defended superbly, have Eastleigh, and Barnet just have not been able to.
Offside.
They just haven't created any clear-cut opportunities this half.
Just hasn't. Outside of the Reece Brown chance, if you could call that clear cut.
It's disappointing.
There it is.
And here comes Hartigan for Callum Stead. Back to Hartigan. We've got a bumper number of listeners tuning in today, and I can't imagine why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Harry Chapman over on the far side. Chapman again. Chapman gets one in with his left. Brown rises for it. Scrambling around in the box briefly, but it's hooked away, and Tyree Shade will chase this. Tavares with a brilliant piece of defending and gets it back to Owen Evans, and the Bees start again. And you saw Harry Chapman just get the ball in there first time with his left. We're going to have to see more of that, aren't we? Just direct play rather than trying to walk it in. Here's Chapman again
in the box.
On the far side. Chapman into the penalty area. Still Chapman pulls it back. It's scrambled by Joe McDonnell, who flapped at it, but he got there at the second time of asking and holds onto the ball. And there's another Eastleigh player down here, and more minutes are going to be taken up here, frustrating the Bees further.
Absolutely, it's good play from Chapman, direct, going forward, get the ball in early. You've got to get the ball in early now. Get the ball in early. You've got Telford and Love in the box. Callum said that at the back post, so there are numbers coming in.
Yeah, they need to throw everything at this, really, do the Bees.
It's giving out it is a must-win feel at the moment now. Might as well take the risks now. Add additional numbers going further forward, because what a win would do for the Bees fans. I mean, wow, it will be a big win at this moment in time of the season, this late on as well.
Well, the Eastleigh player is taking his sweet time. And finally play is restarted, and it's back into the hands of Joe McDonnell. So you would hope that there would be quite a few minutes of added time for the stoppages and time wasting.
I'm surprised McDonnell's not even been given a yellow card. So
I'm sure he will.
Time wasting.
Well, he's drop kicked one out of the stadium, and that's really shocking quality from the Eastleigh shot stopper. And the Barnet fans are once again just doing everything they can. Owen Evans is on the halfway line.
He's almost like a fourth centre back.
Rush goalkeeper, and there's a real sense of urgency now, almost a sense of panic, dare I say.
Yeah.
And that's poor from Aluo. He's given it away as Eastleigh come forward, and the Spitfires, who again have so little to play for, are really spoiling the party. And they've won a throw, have the Spitfires, on the halfway line on the far side. They're going to make another change here, and they're going to take their sweet time to make this one as well.
Oh, he's tried to go the long route.
Yeah, bit of argy-bargy there. It was Lee Hodson, who's public enemy number one here at the Hive, who's being walked off the pitch by the referee as he tried to do the thing where they walk all the way across the pitch, but he's being told to get off the quick way, and it's going to be Semenyo.
Yeah. It's a good rule change they did.
So come on, Jai Semenyo back on the bench. Eastleigh weren't able to actually fill a bench in their last game against Rochdale. Semenyo has managed to come in back from injury.
That's good.
Yeah, well, seeing a little bit of panic in the comment section of the Hive Live radio stream.
Is that the general feel in the commentary section?
But you would expect that.
Yeah.
It is nervy times, and Barnet are putting pressure on themselves unnecessarily, really. Yeah. But this is football, and York City, fair play to them. They have kept this title race more than interesting. Collins infield to Dom Telford. Telford out wide to Stead. He's got about 3 players for company. Telford. Still Telford hanging on to it. Lays it off to Anthony Hartigan. 88 minutes played. Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1. Is there a late twist in this game? Or is it going to be the same scoreline it was last week?
And in the reverse fixture as well.
And indeed in the reverse fixture. The Bees just can't find any spaces here, and it's forced back to Tavares. Owen Evans in the centre circle in the Eastleigh half. That is how attacking the Bees are trying to play now, but Eastleigh just won't give Bees a moment's peace. Here's Collins. Bees are just playing it around.
Need to get an overload somewhere.
Well,
I
think they're going to have to go a little bit more direct. Just pump some, go the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Here's Harry Chapman, great run from him, great feet from him, and Reece Brown is bundled off the ball, and Eastleigh could launch a counter-attack here if they're quick about it. And here's Bouton. And what you want is a transitional play now. Is Love going to get on the end of it? He has. It's Love needs to get it into Brown. Great turn from him, great strength as Love tries to get into the box, but he overran it, and it's back with Telford now. Telford infield to Collins. Collins out wide to Callum Stead. There's not enough on it, and he's conceded a throw in as well. And Eastleigh, there's just no way through here.
Absolutely. Fair play to Bouton because he got a yellow card very early on in that first half, but in the second half he has been absolutely brilliant on that right hand side.
He's been on a yellow card.
Yeah, been brilliant defensively. Astute, astound. Mr. Connor was crying. Says Callum Stead's been out there. He hasn't been able to do anything on that right hand side.
How many added minutes? Well, the Barnet fans wanted more, I think. Only 5. Only 5 minutes, but it's 5 minutes for the Bees to find a winner. But it's Shade with some excellent footwork to get Eastleigh up the pitch. Plays it over to the right-hand side with the substitute Semenyo. Semenyo gets the better of his man, and here come Eastleigh. Now, this could spell disaster if they were to score now. Pulled back. Tavares, though, comes away with it for the Bees, and they need to be quick about this now. Collins, and it's too slow. It's too slow as Barnet once again urge their players forward now, and they need to throw absolutely everything at this. Here's Callum Stead. Finds Love on the overlap. Is that going to go out of play? It is. Sloppy ball from Stead, and it goes out of play for a throw-in with just 4 added minutes to play.
Yeah, sums up Callum Stead's game. Just hasn't been going for him. Hasn't been going for anyone for Bees.
Well, this result, if it stays this way, it means York are just 5 or 4 points behind.
Yeah. Eastleigh just a thorn in for Barnet
4
this
points.
season.
Don't know why I said 5. 4 points. Apologies. Yeah, 4 points. Very uncomfortable. With 3 games still to go. Here's Collins. Back to Owen Evans.
Yeah, you like to think one of the centre backs should go up front now. Don't need 3 at the back.
I'm surprised that the Bees haven't gone direct sooner, but they still are trying to walk it in. Here's Callum Stead. Collins lays it off to Tavares. Tavares comes forward as well. Now Telford. Telford tries to spread one with his left towards Harry Chapman. Good ball from him, but it's all sideways. And that's a loose ball, and there's just no quality in the passing here.
Surely, Danny Collins is staying up. I think he's going to go up, but the one of the centre backs has to go up front now. Well, Eastleigh only have one person attacking. You have to rise at the back and just have an extra man, an extra body in the box. Because that's what it's got to be now. The pass is not working. You've got to go long now.
Two and a half minutes left.
It's just they seem like they don't know what to do. It's just keep on passing it and it will just open up, but it's not happening at the moment.
Here's Collins. Over to Stead, right on this far side. In it comes. Just on the edge of the area. The header is away. Here's Shade trying to hold it up. Brilliant tackle. Here's Collins. Oh, he tried to feed Stead in the area. Telford intercepts. Stead lays off to Tavares. Heavy touch from him, and it's cleared away emphatically for Eastleigh. And Chris Maguire. What a brilliant trap from Chris Maguire on the right-hand side up against Aluwo. Fantastic play.
Yeah, brilliant quality from him. The experience. He's using it brilliantly.
And here come Eastleigh on that far side.
Oh, good
Hooked
play.
forward. Oh, and it's a foul. And Eastleigh have won a free kick on the far side, right by the corner flag. And you would feel that this game is pretty much dead.
Yeah, I mean, if Eastleigh want to go for it, they can go for it. It's a free kick in a really dangerous position on that right-hand side. And it's Semenyo again. I mean, since he's come on, he's been really good. Obviously, he almost set up a chance earlier on and he just won a dangerous free kick. And Eastleigh have got some skyscrapers. They've got Fernandez, they've got Francelet. So there's people to aim for. They're not putting many numbers in the box, it seems, but some Barnet fans are leaving as Eastleigh fans are taunting them.
Just a minute to go. Free kick is taken short. And they're going to keep it in the corner, I think, and they've won a corner. And it's just frustration heaped on the Bees.
Yeah,
corner kick for the Spitfires.
Last thing, Eastleigh will keep it in the corner again. I mean, they didn't put in that free kick in the box, so they're going to go short, it seems. And just...
It's Jack Vokins.
Or not.
Is in towards the back post. Really poor delivery.
Yeah.
And it's a goal kick. And this is literally the absolute last chance that Barnet have to get it forward. Owen Evans launches it forward towards Reece Brown.
Offside.
And what a touch from Dom Telford. And for just half a second there, he looked like he could be clean on goal. And there is one final opportunity with a throw-in on the far side for the Bees. Harry Chapman has it in his hands.
Cropper when you need it.
Takes it quickly. Cropper's out, injured. Hartigan. And they need to get this in towards the box now. Here's Aluwo. Now Tavares. We've played 5 minutes of added time and it's surely get it in the box. Surely Aluwo dinks it towards the middle and that is a shockingly poor delivery and it goes all the way out for a goal kick to Eastleigh. And that is the end of the game. It's full time.
Yeah.
Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1. And there is a real sense of major deflation and disappointment that has come over the Hive, and that is 3 games for Barnet without a win, while York beat Gateshead earlier in the day. Danny Collins with the equalising goal from a defensive howler which put Eastleigh in front. Paul McCallum haunting his former side. And York are just 4 points behind the Bees now. Barnet's still in the driving seat, of course, so no need for a funereal atmosphere, but with 3 games to go, things getting a little bit close for comfort.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just another frustrating day at the Hive. Another 1-1 draw. Another game where Barnet have failed to score more than 2 goals. There was a time where Barnet were scoring 4 goals away at Rochdale, 3 goals away at Oldham, and now it seems like the goals have dried up and it's frustrating for the fans. They were 11 points clear not so long ago, now it's down to 4. 3 games remaining, not an easy game. They got Sutton United just in a couple of days' time on a Monday. But Barnet just got to regroup, focus on that game, put this one in the bin and know that it's still in your hands. But if you're a Barnet fan, you walk away from this game just like, where is it all gone? Where's the motivation? It just seems that it's the end of the season. It seems as if run out of ideas in that game. The last half an hour, there was no real sense of urgency, but no need to panic yet. But for York fans, they're going to have more and more hope that Barnet can throw this away. But for the Bees fans, it's just keep on going. As Martin Allen says, keep on going, keep on pushing this side because it's still in a fantastic position.
Well, we'll obviously dissect the game as best we can. Trying to leave emotion out of it, which is kind of difficult. But it has finished disappointingly. Barnet 1, Eastleigh 1. Look out for the post-match podcast, which we'll post shortly, and give an honest assessment of how we saw the game. Thank you very much for joining Hive Live Commentary, whoever you support, wherever you are. We've really enjoyed reading your comments. Thank you so much for keeping us company, and we've hope we've keeping you company well as well. And for Bees fans, unfortunately didn't give you the result that we wanted. But with 3 games to go, all Barnet need to do is win those games.
Yeah,
sounds easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like we've been saying it for the last 2 or 3 weeks, though, haven't we? And it just hasn't come through. 3 games without a win. Not panic stations yet, but it's not the form we want to be going into with literally must-win games coming up now. I mean, that Sutton United game on Bank Holiday Monday won't be an easy game. We saw Sutton come to the Hive and almost come away with 3 points, which hasn't been done at all by anyone this season, so that's no easy game by any stretch of the imagination, but they're still in a great position. But if you look at how York feel and how Barnet fans feel, it's opposite ends of the spectrum, it seems.
Well, the momentum is with York, that's for sure. But it's not a loss.
Nope.
It's another point. It's another game added to the ridiculous unbeaten run here at the Hive. It is still Fortress Hive, but draws at this stage of the season with York breathing down your neck do feel a little bit more like losses than they do wins, and that's just honesty. It's not without wishing to be negative. That is really honesty, but we have to remember that the Bees are very much in the driving seat, so anything now is just psychological.
Absolutely.
Barnet have shown their quality over the course of the season. They just need to find their feet again at Sutton on Monday, and guess what? We will be there for that as well, with a special Hive Live away day. So do look out for updates and news on that when we can give it to you. But for all intents and purposes, we'll be bringing you coverage of that one. But yes, Barnet won, Eastleigh won, and we'll be giving our final thoughts on the post-match podcast, which we'll be recording imminently. Thanks once again for joining us, and have a great Easter weekend, and we'll see you for Monday. Take care.